match right now. I mean, dang, I got counted. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Dawson. A very happy holiday to everybody as we're getting geared up for our last and final event here of the 2022 season. My name is Verdict, and joining with me tonight in this holiday hot drop of a COD Mobile Rivalry series, we've got Denominate. Day, how have you been this holiday season? Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, it's only do justice that we do a BR event. We've already crowned a world champion in Tribe Gaming for that stage final world championship. So who's going to be the hottest duos in this holiday drop? Well, you're going to have to stick around and find out. Now, as I'm taking a look at it, we've got 80 players, as Dave mentioned, give or take a few. And I'm seeing some very notable names. But before we jump into that, we're actually going to take a look at some of the actual rule sets that we're going to run through, as well as the format. So I've taken a look at some of this and the adjustments that we've made since the last Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale event that the COD Mobile Rivalry series has presented. The updates are absolutely crucial. How it's going to work is a duo Battle Royale. We've got 80 players, points and scoring. It's 1 point for every kill, but there are kill multipliers. If you receive first place, it's going to be a 2 times multiplier. Anybody from 2 through 5th is going to receive a 1.75 multiplier, as well as 6th through 10th getting that 1.5. So 4 drops, isolated blackout, isolated them back to blackout. That has got to be the biggest stuff that I've seen in the adjustments that we made since the last Rivalry series. Yeah. We've got Gilmania in the house, but we've also got a little bit of a technical problem with audio, and it does appear that your mic might not be picking up. But hey, Day Nominated would not be casting if he didn't have a series of very muted moments. So format, as we've already taken a look at it, we're going to get that taken care of in the background. 1 point for every kill. Just to remind everybody, the prize for the top 8 duos, we'll go over the breakdown and whatnot as soon as we are available to do it. Total prize pool is going to be 20,000 large. Coming into a new year, that is absolutely massive. First place is going to receive 6,000 of that change, 4,000 for second, 3,000 for third, 2,000 for fourth, which is still huge, 1,500 for fifth as well as sixth, and then $1,000 consolation prize for seventh and eighth. So huge chunk of a prize pool going to that first place slot, but still plenty to choose from as we roll down from that first through 8th place spot. So taking a look at the players now as we're going to get that prize pool divvied out. Who's going to be getting their hands on some of that action? Well, I mean, you see the names up there. One of the ones that Dave mentioned was Gilmania. His partner is Ray's. I think it's going to be a fan favorite. He's one of our favorite Latin casters in all of the scene. Going to see if he can test his luck in the waters for some Battle Royale. One of the names that sticks out to me the most, though, has got to be Report. Is he on this list? Mans was frying the last COD Mobile Battle Royale rivalry series that we did. He is, and he is paired up with Tokyo. That is going to be a very elite duo as well. Kyle and Jan Reek going to be on separate teams. We've got Merely and Citrus. We're bringing in some very, very top-of-the-line talent here for this COD Mobile Battle Royale rivalry series. But Dave, if you had to pick anybody out of this list that we're seeing right now, which names stand out? Oh. All right, there we go. We're going to see. One of the names that also stands out to me is going to be Supra and Asuna. I think Supra had one of the most breakout performances in the last event that we did. Granted, it was a solo event. She can come and she can fry at any given point. So one of the names that also pops out is got to be Lucas Sin. Lucas Sin, I don't think they crowned a Stage 5 MVP, but if they did, the SKS in that man's hand is absolutely broken. I don't think we got a GA in Battle Royale for that particular weapon, but if they had any kind of sense, they would have probably tried to find a way to get that thing out of the man's head. The good thing is for Lucas Sin, he will have the option to pick up any loadouts because there is all fair game. So let's take a look at the rule set as well. One of the things that also stood out to me is I remember we had a little bit of, how do you say it, a little bit of a vehicle royale, if you might say, in the solo event. This time around, the only vehicles that are available are going to be the ATVs. So while Dave's getting his mic situated, I'll run through some of the banned items. The Antelope, Helicopter, Tank, Jackal, Hover Bike, Motorcycle, Muscle Car, Rally Car, and Cargo Truck. So snowboards and ATVs are obviously going to be some of the items that you can use for easy transport, but on some of these terrains in both isolated and as well as blackout, we might have a little bit of a situation. So, oh, I apologize. I didn't know we were going to go full screen. How's everybody going? It's COD Mobile Esports channel. How are we doing, baby? It's Verdict. Let's Some of the other things that are banned here in this event is some of the character skins, obviously. Spectre, John McClane, past Modern Warfare characters. The original Soap and the original Price. The Rose, the Urban Tracker, Price, and Rambo. And some of the classes. Well, actually, there's only one class. It's the Punk class, so everything else is free game. XS1 Goliath suit for obvious reasons. And all weapons are allowed. So we're going to have ourselves a merry little time as we begin the new year with a very eventful COD Mobile Battle Royale Rivalry Series. Is chat. I know you probably enjoy looking at the face a lot, but I'm ready to see the action. Who's ready? Who's your favorites? I've listed off several that I could possibly name to be some of the chosen few to be, in my particular category, to be elite as far as Battle Royale goes, but I've also mentioned Lucas and whatnot. But let's go ahead and take a look at that list one more time. I feel like I'm missing out on somebody, and I don't think I'm giving him due justice. I think Lotex was on that list, and I did not get a chance to give him a little bit of a highlight as well. Cerberusky was definitely there. Oh, hello.
We still can't hear Denominator.
Still can't hear Denominator? That is quite all right. I can hear you, yes, sir. But I'm in Discord, so that's a little different. But all right, I'll run through a few of these lists while he gets that figured out. Cerberusky and Gora, that's an elite duo as well. Rabalo and Slothy are going to be the multiplayer bandits that are going to be paired together. Both of them competed in Stage 5. Slothy as a sub, Rabalo as a main for NYSL Mayhem. It's Stefan Miguel, one of a few of my favorite creators in that particular category. B-Nates Gaming and Restreams. Insolence! Insolence is in the list. So, Insolence has been a very, very valuable player in the Battle Royale scene for as long as I can recall. So, favorites, I've already made my selections, but I'm always looking for a wild card to root for, the underdog, some might say. So anybody who is in the chat who thinks that any of these players that are in that category, let me know so I can go ahead and get put on game, because I want to see who is going to be the best of the best, but I also want to give the underdog some light too. So, Dave, can we hear you now? All right, we're still working on that. That is quite all right. We'll go ahead and get prepared for the action and whatnot. Again, just to remind everybody, the 4 games that we're going to be playing are going to be flip-flop back and forth from isolated to blackout to isolated again, and then back to blackout to finish this off. So, duo hot drop event already getting pretty spicy as we speak. So. Alrighty. We're getting ready to get into the lobby as soon as we can, but before we do, we're going to go ahead and take a few moments to get everybody prepared. The lobbies are getting filled as we speak, and as soon as that is available, we'll go ahead and jump into the action. Hopefully, we'll have all of the audio and technical difficulties taken care of by then, because I know you guys love to hear my voice, but let's be real. If we can't go back and forth with the banter, I can only say so much. I mean, I miss a lot of things too. So, hope everybody had a great holiday. If you're ready for the new year, let me know. I think I got a few lined up for you guys for the new year. What was the Caterpillar's New Year's resolution? Huh? To turn over a new leaf. Okay, all right, I'll stop. I've got a few of these lined up, guys. I don't want to burn them all here right before we start, but we're going to be very excited to get inside of this action as soon as possible. So, if we could see the format one more time so I can give it a breakdown for everybody. if you're just now joining in. Looking pretty strong so far, almost up to 1,000 people. Awesome, awesome. If you could, guys, go ahead and smash that like button, share it, and say, hey, we got a holiday hot drop that's coming in. It's a duo event. 80 players involved. The scoring system is 1 point for every kill. The prize for the top 8 duos, as we listed earlier. Again, the matches are 4 drops, 1 on isolated, 1 on blackout, 1 again on isolated, and 1 again to close it out in blackout. So match is about to start up here momentarily, and we'll get into the action as soon as it does. So favorites have been listed. We've obviously gone through some of the top elite battle royale talent as is, but we're also looking for those underdogs to come through and surprise us and shock us. So there we go. All right. About 20-30 seconds out before we get into the hot drop here is we're going to be diving into isolated as soon as possible, chat. I'm up the creek right now, and I'm going to need a little help. So if you guys remember anybody who is on that underdog list, please be sure to share it with me so that way I can keep an eye and spectate on that particular person. So again, the point reminder, it's 1 point for every kill. Number 1, if you finish first place, you get a 2 times multiplier. If you finish second through 5th, you get a 1.75 multiplier. And if you finish 6th through 10th, it is going to be a 1.5 multiplier. So anything after that is going to be just a single multiplier. As we go ahead and head on into the action, we're going to be dropping off here. As I can see, it is isolated. We got downtown Black Market. We're going to see who is going to be on board first. Off the rip, it does look like we're going to get Inco's finest, the pride and joy of Brazil himself, Lucasen. As it does look like he is going to be dropping in for a little bit of that MP action here in the standoff map. So you can see the Ferris wheel right on your right. Interested to see who is going to be landing with him. It does not appear as though anybody is in the vicinity. So take a look at that map and see where everybody is kind of going and what we expect some of the hotter areas to be. This, not necessarily one of them, as you can see already. So I'm expecting everyone to be a little conservative here in the first. And as soon as I say that Super actually is going to bite the dust, the RPD in Prince's hand, he's going to go ahead and claim that first knock. But B-Nate's Gamer is going to be finished, as well as Bree. That's a team wipe. Oh my God. The kill feed is going absolutely rampant right now. As Insolence getting knocked. Expecki. Interesting. All right. Heading on down to Richard now as he's getting his loot as well. Spur is going to be able to get a knock there in the background. Andrew's going to get a 2-piece right there with RPD. Ghost OG is going to be completely finished. That's going to be another wipe as we started with 37 teams. 3 teams have already been completely eliminated here in this first game. Ada's going to get a little bit of a res getting off there as Andrew's going to be able to get that one taken care of. And them with 2 kills on board are going to be able to continue to loot freely. So 33 of 37 teams left. 4 teams already completely wiped. And we've seen massive amount of kills come through in the feed. I think Super was one of those who got finished off. So one of my sleeper picks has already not been able to participate fully throughout this first. But we'll see if anybody's going to come through on this revive flight. Now 65 players left in 74 total. As we head back over to what looks to be Kill House now is Legend and his teammate Richard, the GSK duo, trying to put in some work here on some loot, are going to be able to continue doing so freely, as I don't see anybody on the mini-map. I don't see anybody here for a contest anytime soon. So Day, can I hear you? Did you get that fixed? Interesting. All right, well, Nonetheless, action's still continuing to go on. It does look like we're on board with Alpha and Blanca, as it does look like Alpha's in a little bit of a pickle right here. We got Vita too fast, and we've got AIM right here at the bottom side, trying to get some action. You hear the music in the background sounding pretty sweet here in this area. Freddy is going to be able to get a knock it there. We were just on board with Blank a minute ago. It does look like Freddy White is going to be able to get that finish in. So that is going to be the finish that Freddy is going to get as teams are starting to prepare for this zone push. Armor repairs coming through as well. Cynic's going to be able to delete it. That's interesting. I'd love to see what kind of action's going on there now, as the duo drops have been very hot so far. We've already seen 5 teams eliminated, and not a single one will be coming back in this particular game. They will be able to join us here in blackout map rotation. Lag now going to be able to get a knock there on Asuna, but the action here, as the airdrops are coming through, Alpha's starting to get a little bit greedy now. It does look like he's going to pull out the ZRG. We'll see if he can get some shots in the third person peak. As you can see, they're looking not right through the wall, but right around it. They have an idea that Rim or AIM and Vita Too Fast is right underneath them, but I don't know if they're going to make this push. Cerberusky going to be able to get a knock and a finish, as Gora is actually going to get one on Sombra. That's going to be 2 on board and 2 under their belt now, as this game's progressing rather quickly. Here comes the shots here. Oh, the lineup was actually pretty nice, but I don't think the shot was quite there, so we didn't see anything being pulled. So we'll see if they get this push over now, as the rotation is going to have 22 seconds left before this revive flight comes through. Let's see if we get a trigger pull here from Alpha. This might be a crispy shot if they can get this one to line up. It does not appear as though they're going to, though. So, oh, there it goes. Last second. But the vehicle's already been hopped. They're going to go ahead and get out of the city. And that is going to be Alpha and team able to go ahead and continue to loot up freely. So, push over from Vita Too Fast. We got Ducks and Hayes right here in the top side of the building. The nade shot, it's baked pretty tight. Oh, man, is he going to get a hit? I don't believe it did. Ducks and Hayes are going to be able to continue to hold this building. Vehicle's going to get dropped. Oh, my God, the crank is pretty crispy right here. Hayes and Ducks going to be able to hold the top side. Trip mine's not going to fall. AIM, he is 100% on top of it. And here comes the Inferno. It's too fast. Ducks gets the knock, gets the finish. And that's going to leave AIM all on his own. Hayes and Ducks, they're going to be able to hold down the fort here inside of this building. But for how much longer? They want to get aggressive with it. We got a trip mine down on the outskirts of the building, but the knock comes through. The frag grenade is going to be able to get 1. Is it good for 2? It is. AIM's finished. The team wipe coming through. Ducks is out. AIM clutching it up for the boys. And they're going to be able to continue the journey on, but the third party on top of the hill. We'll have to see if Alpha and Blanca will be able to finish what they started off earlier. You saw one shot come through as the ATV took off, but does not appear as though the engagement was there earlier. Might be going on now, as we see Rosewind just coolly snowboarding throughout the city. We're going to see the rotation in. Does not appear as though anybody is quite in the vicinity of the snowy hills outside of the zone, but good thing for them is only 1 damage here in this first zone, so they can slowly make that rotation safely. Again, the scoring system is going to be 1 point per kill unless you get a top 10 finish, in which then you will have a multiplier. So, Day, I just want to go ahead and check.
I do think we're back. I do think we're back. So you were absolutely carrying Verdict. We appreciate it. Facecam died and it took everything else with it. So we are back. We were able to sort out the technical difficulties. And I'm glad, because I've wanted to say so much. This game has been so exciting. Looking at a lot of the sniper talent that we've had on the screen here, there have been a lot of narrow misses and some crisp shots. You can see I'm not flexing right now. Looking for the spam shots onto Gemini, but couldn't quite get enough in for the down, and he's going to have to retreat back up the hill to safety where he's got some cover, and they're kind of surrounded on all sides right now. You can see 3 teams kind of collapsing in onto this position, so it'll be interesting to see how they capitalize here, because they could really pick up a lot, but it looks like we're going to switch over to Spurs. And again, the Snipers not quite having the connectivity that I thought they would have in this matchup. And you can see these teams are trying to push the Kings of the Hill down. It looks like they might have successfully done so, at least for now.
Yeah, King of the Hills no more. They're going to go ahead and fall down, try and get a little bit into the action now as Gemini firing shots away. AK not connecting for much. The clip on that thing, look at that, 70. I love the little enhancements that we got going on there. Prince is going to be able to get a wipe there on Biggie. Knock comes through, and the follow-up is absolutely on point. Don't want anybody still any kills right now. Right now, Spurs is going to be spotting Cerberusky. This might not be the play. The Hoopty is going to be hot. They're going to go ahead and try and get this rotation through with 45 seconds left on the revive flight. Hopefully no one goes down. This is zone's crashing in. Kilo shots coming through. The sniper shots not necessarily connecting, but Gora and team Cerberusky going to be able to successfully make the transition in, but from one demon to another they go. Looks like they're going to go ahead and get aggressive with it. Nobody going to be plated in this particular sense, and they are fully recovered from that zone damage. So no harm, no foul now as we make the transition through. We're getting geared up for a third zone day. And I've got to say, we've had 16 teams drop already, and there's only 39 players left in a massive zone that is left to be played.
Yeah, and again, because the point multiplier, not only are you playing to slay out and grab those points, but the later we make it in, the more those points are going to be worth. So that's absolutely huge. And right here, you can see from that hill, I'm not flexing an impulse. I've had to rotate over. Once again, have gone for the high ground. And this is a big position for them to be in, especially now that they are deep into the zone. They have that extra level of protection. And they've got Gilmania and Ray Z on the outskirts here. But I don't think they actually saw them making the rotation. So this could be a big opportunity for Rays and Gilmania to get some capitalization here as things start to collapse with this zone. Now, we're still fairly early on, so the zone is survivable a little bit on the edge if you're within reason. And we'll have to see where players are going to capitalize there. I got to say, definitely loving the new UI for the Battle Royale client as well. Definitely gives a lot of clarity, and I think this is what you're going to start to see as we get closer into the zone. You've got your long mid-range weapons, typically going to be a sniper or a AR, maybe even an LMG in some instances, but then also going to be a lot of shotgun use as we get towards these final zones as well, getting into these condensed buildings and short pathways where you can pretty much get one tapped out of existence by the KRM or the HSO. So yeah, definitely going to be big, and looks like we got a revive flight coming in about 40 seconds.
About 40 seconds. We're going to see if player down low of I'm Not Flexing and Impulse will be able to make something happen here. Do believe they've got sights on Cynics, but he's just got to survive for just a bit longer. The shots coming through. There's people on the outside. Saitama, you're not safe. Here comes the M21 EBR spray, the spam. It's disgusting. It's shields. It's damage. Saitama is going to be able to get a shot on Hypno. He's going to get knocked. I don't know if the finish is going to come through. The rotation's definitely not safe, but oh my God, where did that shot even come from? Flexing. I know you're not flexing, but here comes Gemini. He might be looking for a little bit of a notch under his belt. He's going to get a little aggressive now as the two players up top, Impulse and Flexit, are going to have to make the rotation through. Morgan Place is coming through as well, but Psychosis, oh, that is definitely an operator verdict. Come on now, you bot. You know what's going on there. That's a fake. Even if it fooled me, I wonder if it fooled anybody else in the lobby. Cynic's going to be content with holding the outskirts of the zone as his teammate's going to be coming back in. He'll happily eat all of that as long as his team continues to keep the dream alive. So rotations have been made. Hills have been held. The top side here for Impulse. Did he get the spot there on Morgan and Gemini?
I don't think he did, but I think his teammate has gotten the opportunity to get the vision. And now you can see he's pushing on over. And here's, like we said, you've got that long range and short range capitalization. The Holger with 120 rounds. Definitely going to make it a little bit easier to pepper your enemies, especially in some of these longer ranges where you're maybe not going to hit every single bullet. And it looks like they've actually pulled back and just once again going up for the high ground, looking to play safe, looking to play for those kill multipliers. And, you know, looking at the likes of only having 34 players left alive, teams with low kills, they got to find a way to get some kills on the board, right? You could come in, you know, first, second place. If you've only got 2 kills, you're not getting any benefit out of that multiplier. So starting to play a little bit more aggressive is going to be very, very important for the teams that are trying to play for the top of the top. And with rivalry series as big as it is, definitely important, and definitely going to be ringing on the nerves of a lot of these players as well. Everybody playing a little extra cautious than we may otherwise see.
Yeah, $20,000. That's a huge. That's
huge.
It's huge. Saitama, huge shots coming through from Gemini. The fire back is elite as well now, as he's going to have to back down. There is Morgan right here to kind of hold the hill as they play up, looking for the push over. The aggression needs to be on point. You can't have any lackluster rotations through the Spurs, holding the top side, the bottom side. Saitama, he's going to make the pass through the underside of the bridge. So love the shots. Love the, a little bit of suppressive fire to keep them off the push. Don't want any kind of vulnerabilities there, as we see Vita too fast, going to get knocked too quickly. Pulse up here on top side of the hill might be a little bit of a problem now, as Spurs and Saitama is safely able to make this rotation through, but it's inevitable. We got a triangle of heat right here that's about to happen. I wonder who's going to come out on top now, as the last revive flight is going to take off in 1 minute. Spurs does get the lineup, but does not fully commit to the shot. Love to see the trigger discipline, but Gemini now getting the knock there, and Pulse going to get dropped. It does look like the push is going to come through, as the Ninja's going to be popped. Got to be leery of these people who are on the outskirts of zone, and Saitama and whatnot. They're very familiar with people still being in the area. But we're going to see if the aggression pays off here for Gemini and his teammate, Morgan plays.
Oh, Gemini gets knocked, and Spurs going to come through with the finish as well. I believe we're going to get that tag, but Zone is going to start ramping up in damage at this point. So that's something that they're going to be on the run from. And, well, you may have picked up that tag, but they know right where you're at. And Spurs, obviously, crispy with the shot there, and he might be able to follow it up. You can see Flexing starting to take 2 and 3 damage a second from the Storm. Now pushed up with teammate Impulse, that he was able to get back up after the knock earlier. And they're still in the game here, but no kills on board. So, again, got to find a way to get things rolling here. Morgan plays, barely able to make it into the zone. Does have the teammates' tags, but can they survive long enough? Full up on HP is huge. I don't know if they have any plates, though. And Morgan
getting the kill there on Gemini. The pinch coming through. Impulse and teammate are going to be able to hold off that push. They're going to hold off the angles. The building is going to be, ground zero for them. They're going to be able to maintain the fortress. And I know you mentioned tags. I think they were already scanned. His teammates are back, so Morgan Place is back into the vicinity as well. As we rotate on through, Estate is looking very, very busy. Alpha and Blanca still being able to stay alive and play their life. I don't know how many kills they particularly have, but take a look at the oversight here. We got plenty of action still remaining. 15 teams as this zone's about to start crashing here in a moment. Push from Team R. That's Alpha and Blanca. They're going to have to make the rotation through. The smoke's been popped. Here comes one of the last loadout drops as well with it. So plenty of action still to go around. Resume going to be able to get the knock there on Saitama. I don't know if the finish is going to come through, but the push is certainly about to come through for Alpha and Blanca. The shots are crispy. The MAC-10 Banana Blaster. Blanca for the pinch. Had the right approach. Didn't have the shots to go along with it, and they're going to be eliminated inside or outside of the top 10, which for kill multipliers is going to do absolutely nothing for you.
Yep, and I think Lag might have just got some vision there and is now trying to get some cover. I don't know if he knows that it's only one player to deal with, but just off to the right, you can see we've got Ackman here. Sniper's out. Sniper shot's going to be a little difficult to hit at this range. Can't quite get the ZRG to connect, and that's rather unfortunate. Again, with so much on the line and with the zone shrinking, the Sniper is even going to become less and less effective. We've still got plenty of opportunity to see some of these sniper talents excel here, but Richard looking to hold multiple players out of the zone here. He does have his teammate, but they're getting collapsed on from the side. They're getting third-partied. Ackman going to find a knock and a finish. And now Richard just trying to get to zone.
Yeah, Ackman doing what he does best. He plays the biggest in-game plays. I don't know, Mads is just built differently when it comes to these smaller zones right now. He's biting off a little more than he can chew, but Lag trying to hold off this top side of the hill. Prince is going to get the knock on Achman. The follow-up shot, Slag. You nasty. What a shot. What a freaking cannon coming from the ZRG. And the rotation through is his teammate Prince right next to him. They're going to be able to hold the top side of the hill. And with only 6 players remaining, or 11 players remaining, 6 teams available, this is where things start to get a little dicey. You stay inside of the top 5, you get that 1.75 time multiplier for your kills. And this one is going to be interesting to see how it unfolds now, as Lag and Prince have definitely have the best area to hold. The King of the Hill is an understatement in this area.
Yeah, definitely the best area to be holding right now, especially with the zone shift looking the way that it is. But as well, you mentioned it, we're down to the top 6 teams at this point, which means those multipliers are looking thick. And Lag is sitting on 6 kills of his own, looking to increase it here. Gets the knock onto aim. Can he get the finish onto the other? Looks like that's, I mean, probably a really smart play. Definitely a little bit rough for Lag there. But the other teammate is going to die to zone, so that's not going to give Lag the kill credit there. Cynics able to find 2 with the KRM, and now the quickscope's out of Lag, not able to connect, but we're down to just 2 teams, and it's a 2v2. Zone collapsing in on that building utility, getting thrown out by Prince, who's sitting on 6 of his own, so I believe we're looking at 13 between Lag and Prince in a top 2 run right now. All right, looks like Fennec and Craig for Blurty, so definitely has his ranges covered here. Lag exposes himself, taking some shots. Kurdo playing out into the zone a bit here to get on top of the building. Got to get an opportunity to recharge up, but obviously it's down to these 4, and we talked about that King of the Hill verdict. Lag and Prince, they've got the position.
King of the Hill, King of the Lobby. Can they get a King of a closeout? This is certainly a dynasty of brewing right now. Kurdo, Blurty, they're holding on for dear life inside the building. The top side is where monsters live. Shots coming through. Lag's going to eat a nade, but here comes the defender. He's going to be able to hold off and get a little bit of cover, but the rotation is inevitable. Smoke is going to be thrown. The rotation is in. Prince is going to get shot. Kurdo going to get the full there on Lag. The knock comes in. Prince, can he clutch it up? He cannot. Blurty is going to be able to get the kill. That's it. Game number 1, team number 19, Blurty and Kurdo going to come through with the first place finish, but we already know Lag and Prince put on a hell of a show in game number 1. I don't think anybody got remotely close to 14 kills as a team, and with that 1.75 multiplier, you can best believe that they're going to have the top side of that scorecard.
Yeah, I definitely got to agree with you there. And Blurty barely made it out of that fight alive. I mean, we're talking 1 tick of zone damage would have finished him off. And with his teammate down, that could have been the end either way, but they come out on top. Question is, what did these teams bring to the table when it came to kills? Obviously, we got to see a lot of the Lag and Prince show, but where did everybody else finish? And that's only the first of 4 games. So with Lag and Prince having such a dynamic start, they're in a good position moving forward, but they've got to keep that energy up to keep a lead here.
No, that's the name of the game, man. Consistency across all 4 games, right? You just can't have a banger of a game 1 on Isolated and then just flop in the next. Obviously, we're going to be switching it up and heading over to Blackout, but I don't think I've seen a game opener like this in any COD Mobile Rivalry series in Battle Royale or in any past events that I've done. That was just such an epic ending that could have gone either way, but I mean, you did yourself a justice. Lag was frying, bro. Prince right there along with him. I don't think anybody in the lobby can compete with those numbers in that regard, but we'll have to see now as we, as I mentioned, we are going to be switching it up and going over the Blackout. We'll see how things pan out on that side, but based off what we've seen so far, Lag and Prince, they brought their A game today. Can anybody else compete, Dave?
Well, that is definitely the big question. I think the action definitely came to the teams that played the zone smarter. We actually saw a lot of teams that we thought had the advantage on the high ground that maybe didn't read the zone and ended up waiting too long, were forced to push straight down the hill as opposed to maybe finding a more strategic or tactical rotation along the side, and I think that made a difference in that final fight where we saw Lag and Prince have to push straight down with the zone on their tail. They could have played the left side of the hill, maybe had a little bit of cover, and bought themselves more time for the zone to force their opponents out of that building.
You're absolutely right. I mean, King of the Hill only goes so far, right? When push comes to shove, the smokes weren't able to save them. There was no cover. I mean, sometimes the zone give it, sometimes the zone take it. That was just one of those instances where the in-game zone just happened to be right out in the open. The only cover was, well, you know, Blurty and Curto had it. It was inside the building, and they utilized that to its fullest. So very well, smart play, very well played there from them, as they did get the first finish. But again, we're not awarding prizes to first place. We're awarding multipliers. So I'm interested to see how many kills they ended up with. Obviously, I don't believe they got both of those final kills. I think they only got one, and I think Zone finished off the other. So I would be interested to see what a 2x multiplier would be in effect for that team, considering that we've already seen the Lobby Kings, the Lobby leaderboard, in the instance of Lag and Prince. Man, those guys were just built differently on Isolated today. They woke up, they ate their Wheaties, they came prepared. They were not getting taken off that hill until that final zone push. But we're gonna get the Lobby leaderboard up for everyone to see. As you would already know, we're ranting and raving for a reason. Lag and Prince came, they conquered. They didn't get the first place finish, but they put on a hell of a show in between time. So rolling into Blackout, things are gonna be a little bit different, Dave. Thoughts, those rotations should look pretty solid. But before we do that, Dave, we're actually going to take a short intermission. So guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to get our Lobby leaderboard ready for you all to see. We'll be right back after this. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. We're back for some more holiday hot drops. It's COD Mobile Rivalry Series. Game 2 is right around the corner, but before we take a look at that, Day and I were interested who finished in the top 10. Well, we're about to find out now as kills are being tallied, trying to see what kind of multiplier everyone got. Well, we got right around the corner. So, based on what we've seen, it's been the Lag Print show already, Day. Anticipating anybody to be any higher than that is probably not going to be true.
Probably not, but I do got to say a team that I'm looking forward to come alive during our next couple games has got to be the team with Achman and Lotex. I mean, that is a couple of players that are very familiar with the BR scene that I remember casting long ago, and they were always a couple of the players that we would talk about when we were in that situation. So definitely hoping that they bring their A game coming forward, because I don't want to see one team just come through and blow everybody out, right? I want to be in that, Game 4 just ended. Oh my gosh, who won? Did we get enough points to overtake first kind of situation? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want it to be interesting. I want it to be spicy. This is a hot drop for a reason. I want it to be all action all the time. I mean, obviously, we're in duos, and we want to see those engagements. We're rewarding people or rewarding players for getting kills. Also, the multipliers in that top 10 spot are going to be crucial. So rack up as many as you can in the beginning of the game, and then along the way, just kind of pick and choose your battles. Try to find a spot in that top 10 seed, and then just go absolutely bonkers. That's what I'm looking forward to. So we're going to see if anything plays out a little differently in Blackout. But before we do have the standings that are about to be tallied up. We got the top 10 placements are ready to be seen. As you saw it, Kurto and Blurty were able to snag that victory away in game number 1. Lag and Prince, though, will continue to say their names as they popped off, as Hypno and Cynics are going to be right there below them in that third place seating. Anybody from second to fifth place is going to be reaping the benefits of having that 1.75 times multiplier on their kill points. So as soon as those get tallied up, we'll see who stands at the top and who's going to be below. We already know Lag Prince. Again, I'll just continue to say Lag Prince, Lag Prince, Lag Prince. They're definitely going to be a number 1 seed. Who is going to be below it? By how many points are we going to see them in a deficit?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely the big question. And I'm hoping to see some of the snipers maybe be a little bit more warmed up during the next game. I got to say, I was expecting more on Isolated, right? I mean, you look back at the competition in the past, and we were always talking about the snipers getting those picks. And while we did see a little bit more of it towards the end, right, I think Lag had just this nasty flick shot to take somebody off a head glitch. I definitely want to see that get capitalized on a little bit more. And again, I think because the prize pool on the line, I feel like a lot of these teams played very, very cautious and very, very passive. And while that may be on your mind, play your comfort. Play what you and your duo practiced for, right? Play the play style that you guys are going to perform the best in. So I think that could definitely be holding some people back. So have to let it all out and see who can come out on top. Again, it was Lag and Prince who just looked near flawless during game 1. They were shut down in the final hill there, but I don't think that stopped them from grabbing first place.
I don't think it did either. I mean, as comfortable as we want to be on some of these rotations Isolated, we're going to get a little bit of discomfort as we're going to make it switch up and head over to Blackout for game number 2. And it could be a completely different ball game. We saw a lot of the multiplayer pros get taken out early. We didn't see any of them finish in a top 10 spot. Anybody in the BR scene knows that Isolated is an OG map for a reason, and the OGs came out and they played and they slayed, and they look good doing it. We'll see if they can keep that same energy and that same pace rolling into a Blackout map that offers a little bit more of a diverse landing spot, is going to offer a little bit more of rotational coverage. I think Isolated has its perks as far as the hills go, but when you're trying to make these wide open transitions, the challenges you face along the way, you can't be as choosy with your gunfights. You can get into a position, you just let it breathe. absolutely supreme on any particular portion of the map. You could go firing range, and you have a lot of coverage for those transitions, and also you've got multiple hotspots that I'm expecting to see. Some of those high-rise towers coming through as well too. So any predictions rolling into it? I know you said Achman and Lotex. Those are names that when you mentioned top Battle Royale players, they're at the top of my list all day, every day. And I definitely need to see them stand out a little bit more here in this next game.
Yeah, Achman, Lotex for sure. Gora, definitely expect to see him come online at some point. Hitman, I know we got a lot of our community figures in there as well that maybe haven't done as much in the actual competitive scene, but players like Supra, obviously we mentioned Gilmania is in the mix as well. And I think this is a tournament because there's such a broad skill pool that you're not necessarily punished by not being a top player, right? Because there's plenty of other people in here that are kind of at a similar skill level, right? And hey, maybe those demons of the lobby, Lag and Prince, maybe they get killed on a hot drop, and all of a sudden you've got a big opportunity to make a comeback happen.
Yeah, and if you're below them in the leaderboard, which I would assume a majority of the players are going to be, that's what you're banking on rolling into this blackout. But you can't just prey on someone's downfall and expect to surpass them in the top of the leaderboard. You got to take things into your own hands. Things got to change here as we roll into a new scenery and expect a little bit more of a diverse drop in these flight patterns over to blackout. So we're going to see who's going to rise up to the occasion. We're going to see who's going to flop as we're getting geared up for game number 2. Blackout's right around the corner. Should be starting here shortly. Anticipation for someone to step up and rise to the occasion to stand out and get a big piece of that prize pool. Again, Day, as we mentioned, it's $20,000. $6,000 of that is going to first place, and right now, a majority of that shareholder is going to be Prince and Lag. So who's going to step up? Who's going to rise up? Who's going to be able to take down the kings of the kings, or the Lags and the princes of the lobby? I mean, it's got to happen here in Blackout. We'll swap back over to Isolated, but I love to see going back and forth, and I need to hear your thoughts on it. Going from Isolated to Blackout, is that going to change, everyone's mindset or approach, or what are your thoughts on that?
The map as a whole is very, very different. I feel like we're a lot more centered on a even level as far as like actual altitude goes, right? Whereas Isolated, you've got a ton of mountains. Blackout, you've got a lot more condensed areas like the firing range. You've got my least favorite map position, which is Rivertown. You've got places.
What?
Yeah. I mean, you've got construction. You've got all these really condensed areas as opposed to being a much more open map overall. So I think teams that can capitalize in the close range will have a little bit more of a fun time here, a little bit more of an advantage, and it's not a guarantee, right? It's not a guarantee that we're going to see anything different. I mean, Prince and Lag could come through and absolutely fry again, but the playstyles are very different. And I can't believe we've been on the broadcast this whole time, Verdict, and we haven't talked about Raballo and Slothy once.
Oh, well, I mentioned them earlier. I said we had Stage 5 participants, but Raballo from NYSL Mayhem. Huge shout out to Nero. I didn't mean to plug you there, but I did. And then we also had Slothy, who subbed in as a 6th player for Tribe, who obviously won Stage 5, and we're very excited for. So that was a very, very, it was an experience to watch, but it was just even better to be in person. And I cannot wait for more lands to come for COD Mobile. So COD Mobile Rivalry Series is just getting started, though, as we are about to launch into game number 2 on Blackout. We'll mention Raballo and Slothy when Raballo and Slothy do something worth mentioning. That's a wink, wink, hint, hint. Guys, I need you to get your act together. We need to see some of these MP pros. Lucasin, I'm shouting you out, homie. Need you to put on here in game number 2. You're going to be dropping in some very notable places here in this next map. Going to see you have to pop off now as we're getting geared up for it now. Predictions have been made. We've already ran through who we anticipate to do well. We've talked about the players who we expect more from, and we're looking forward to seeing anybody who is going to surprise us along the way. So game number 2 starting up shortly. If you have any more predictions, Dave, this is time, because I believe we're about to hop into it.
Not a ton. I mean, again, a handful of the players I already mentioned, I expect to do a little bit better as the day goes on. I think we maybe have Jan Reek in the games here as well, so maybe we get to see a little bit out of him. Hitman YT. I mean, there's a bunch of players that I recognize from the competitive VR scene. I mean, there's definitely a couple missing that I would love to see come back, but you know, who doesn't love some sun? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sun, Blue, Church, Rosie. I mean,
you know what? Somebody I've been really wanting to see pop off, who I haven't seen pop off in close to a year, is got to be Citrus. I know that's the elephant in the room. Citrus and Merely is an OG duo that we literally just don't see fry like we used to. In past events, I believe Citrus was, if not at the very, very top of the list of being one of the most dominant players of all time. He was very well-spoken as a player. He was just overall very talented in every angle and aspect of the game. So I'd love to see him get back on top of his game, as well as having his OG partner and Merely come through as well. But I'm still looking to see some of these smaller creators or the underdog stories to come through and prevail. I think the last game was a great example. I've heard of Kurto, but I have not seen him play. And his partner, I mean, I want to see a little bit more from them as well. I need to see it a little bit more early on. But as soon as we're able to see the lobby leaderboard, love to see where they're sitting at in that regard, because I'm not 100% sure where they ended up as far as kill-wise goes. I know they only got one out of those two that were left standing in Lack Prince, but love to see some wild card stories as well as some of the underdog ones come through in this game number 2. So waiting for a little bit of a stall now, guys. If you think we enjoy talking this much, trust I do not. I've literally been talked out since game 1 when I had to pull the rig in for myself. I literally anchoring it down here for a game 2 start just as much as you guys. But while we wait, we'll go ahead and shoot the breeze for a bit, see if we can get some enjoyment out of expectations and predictions, and see what comes to true or what comes to fruition, and what, who's going to flop. I mean, obviously it can happen here in Blackout, right?
Yeah, it definitely can. And I think another name that I am seeing in here, and this is maybe my old mind fading a little bit, right? I feel like Logic was a really crazy good sniper back in the day. So assuming that's the same player and that my memory is accurate, hopefully we'll get to see him do a little bit of work here too. I mean, there's tons and tons of talent in this event. And, well, I'm excited for it. I think we're getting ready to load into the game here. It is going to be game 2. We are switching over to Blackout, as Verdict mentioned. So, again, going to be a little bit different play style. And maybe that's an opportunity for someone else to get on the board and close the gap a little bit. Because, obviously, between the, 14 kills for Lag and Prince, but the multiplier on top of that for that second place finish has got them in a pretty cozy position for only being one game in.
Yeah, nothing cozy about being up in game number 1, though. We got to see consistent gameplay. I mean, if it's anywhere from 5 to 10 and a top 10 finish, anything that can consistently get you by for the next 3 games. We're not looking for home runs like we did in game 1 so much as we're looking for consistency across all 4 game modes. So I'm excited now as we're about to jump into it now. Game number 2 finally taken off, ladies and gentlemen. Blackout. We've got the flight pattern. It's going to be south of Nuketown Island. It looks like it's going to end up at the north side of Dam. You know what that means, Day. Everything on this map is going to be accessible off the rip.
Yeah, it absolutely will. And one of the things we got to pay attention to is those high loot areas. And one of them is going to be firing range, definitely a popular position, as well as factory, and maybe even a little bit of action at turbine as well. And again, firing range going to be one of those more close-quartered fighting positions, right? Somewhere where your shotguns and your SMGs can absolutely capitalize. And it looks like
Capitalization
Prince
early
might
on.
be out early for blood,
Yeah,
man.
They just getting started right now. Prince already getting on board, gets the first knock. It's Steph. It's dead if this push comes in. They know exactly where she's at. Come out with your hands up, but we will continue to push through. The kill comes through. It is going to be Prince rounding it out, and that's 2 on the board early on. They are eating, boy. And I got to say, Dave, we did not, we expected them to pop off this game. We did not anticipate them to get a hot drop off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, starting out the first 30 seconds of the game with a not only set of 2 kills, but the actual squad wipe as well is huge for them. That's
okay, Lucas.
One less team that can stab you in the back later. Yeah, I mean, this is another one of those players that we got to see in Stage 5 that I have never seen play BR, so I'm interested to see where he's going to place through all this. Obviously, getting himself on the kill board there, and unfortunately, Gilmania going to get knocked, but that's going to be potentially a kill on board for Valo there. Now you can see I'm not flexing, starting to push on up. Does have 2 in front with Alpha and Blank.
Oh, boy. Ooh, this is a fight that we saw in game number 1 that didn't develop early on and ended up biting Flexin and Blanca in the back. Right now, it's the push coming through the knock. Oh, boy, the MAC-10 just as pretty here. Blackout as it was on Isolated. Alpha, the last hope. Impulse is going to get knocked. The finish there from Flexin. He says, you know what? I'm going to cut my losses. We got 1 for 1. I'll take those odds. Let's go ahead and reposition. Love to see it now. Impulse, not going to be thirsted as of yet, but Flexin trying to get the reposition. Here comes the third party. It's, well, no, it's not third party. It's a teammate. It's Hypno. He's getting some shots in. It's going to be Chopper galore. Impulse finally going to be finished. And Cynics, this is a third party. So it does look like Blanca and Alpha are going to be taken out. And Andrew and Hypno, they're actually going to swoop in and get a 3B. And Flexin getting that early rotation might have been the best move.
Definitely might have. I do believe we saw Satama drop in the feed there. Indeed, there's the kill going over to Richard. So that was a player that I think actually performed really well with the movement during the last game. So for him to be down early on could be a danger. Unsure what the status of his teammate is right now, but you can see report up here in construction. Another one of those very aggressive drop positions where it doesn't look like we actually had a ton of action. We've got Raballo and Slothy coming through here. They're on the bottom side. And their enemies report and team are above. So they're going to be listening for footsteps, trying to get the reads. And it can be very difficult in this position of the map just because there's so many levels right on top of each other. Oh, boom, I heard footsteps above me. Okay, you move up a floor and nobody's there. It might be the next floor up. They might have rotated down on the other side. I mean, definitely can be a confusing place to find yourself in. And I'm unsure what the zone looks like at this point in time, but it is usually not ending on construction in my experience. So
yeah,
we'll probably have to move out at some point.
I'd have to say Slothy is probably the more primed BR player in this sense. Look at Blurty is going to be able to get the kill feed. Empathy going to be griefed yet early on again. Cynics and FNX are going to be encountered. Slothy is definitely going to be one of those players who is a little more vetted. I think the footsteps were heard by him earlier, and Rapallo spazzing out as he usually does. You know, he was kind of just running rampantly. Now he's going to have to play a little bit more contended. Oh, yeah. Slothy was right. We're going to swap on over to Logic now as the snowy terrains here as Hypno and Cynics are on their ish. Man, look at this. Might have gotten a little bit too big for the britches. Logic, the player you mentioned to pop off here in game number 2, guess what? They're going to be able to get the team wipe and the finish, and that's going to end the reign of terror of Cynics and Hypno. So Stitch and Logic getting on board too early, and we might have a third party here, and does look like the player from FNX is going to make the rotation. Oh, man, this might not be the one you want to do, bro. Oh, get in the hill. Yeah, get in the vehicle. Get out of there. Do not test the waters here against Logic.
All right, well, not a lot of kills on board yet for Logic, and haven't seen the snipes, so I'm not entirely convinced, but overall, definitely going to be in a good position. Dora, one of the players you mentioned earlier, is going to be able to pick up one onto Lucasen. And looks like Lag and Prince, they had a nice little hot drop off the start. They had a great game 1, but things may be starting to slow down a little. Oh, Lag with the quickscope! Gemini knocked!
No. Gemini, you sold, bro. Where's the driving abilities at? There's no way you bump a curve, you can't move over it. Come on, Morgan plays. Can you pick up the slack? Nope, Prince and Lag, they're going to continue to just make this lobby pay
Oh, Prince getting
Absolute
peppered, though.
Prince, yeah, well, it's from a Molotov. Ain't nobody around this area. Nobody's going to
Okay.
contest him here on the bridge side. It's the molly that was a last-ditch effort. Surely enough, does pay off. Right now, we're going to be heading back over to the construction site. Slothy and Raballo, they're going to continue to hold the bottom side where Report and Expecki are going to be, expecting a push here maybe soon, but let's be real. That's not going to happen. Raballo and Slothy are playing this for in-game, and there is no way they're going to be able to push this top high-rise without any kind of information that they could use to utilize and maximize on.
It hasn't looked like they've had any desire to. I mean, they are just straight out sitting at the bottom here, maybe looking to play for placement points, or rather not placement points, but the placement multiplier, and then try to sweep up some of the kills there at the end of the remaining teams. So it'll be interesting to see if that is their strategy through and through. Again, have to get an idea of where our zone is heading before we have an idea there. Looks like Janrik and Squeeze looking to push on up. Squeeze with nothing on the board yet, but Revival Flight coming in about 45 seconds, and with approximately 50 players left. Yeah, 50 players over 28 teams remaining. We may see 2 or 3 players come back into the mix there, but looks like we're going to get a knock. Ackman going to get the snipe onto Vita too fast.
Okay. We're going to see if this push comes too fast. Lotex and Ackman, they're not known to being too aggressive at the beginning of a game, but they got to cut some dividends and cut some deficits, as game number 1 wasn't too fruitful in the in-game category. Somber and Scope X are going to be able to remain alive. And Ackman and Lotex, they're going to be able to hold the hill contently. Right now, it's Expecki. They've got the drop down. Logic, last player up here for the team, but Expecki going to get dropped. Where's Slothy and Raballo at? They don't want any kind of engagement. Logic is going to be dropped. But I don't know if the res is going to come off, as you see Report now starting to finally make that rotation through. The res here for Expecki should be expected here momentarily, but we'll see if the third party can come through. Report going to take some shots from the backside. It's Raballo trying to give him a few love taps. Hey, we're in the vicinity. We've been here the whole time. We've heard you. Now you hear us.
All right, well, Report, nothing on board, but starting to push on into construction, where we've had 2 teams sitting here, and again, nobody really aggressive to push out. Again, there's a lot of money on the line. Everybody's playing cautiously, and the multiplier makes it very, very valuable to get later on into the game. So gonna have to see players start to make that kind of push, but Report is definitely separated from Expecki here and unlikely to be able to assist. Scope gonna get the knock and the finish on to Ducks, and that's gonna bring us down to 46 players remaining. Those tags will sit for a while before expiring, but verdict looks like we've got about 45 seconds on the zone crash as well, and that should start to really give us a shape of where everybody is gonna go. You can see Impulse and Flexing. Despite maybe not having a ton of success, I gotta say they have been some of the more aggressive players in the lobby as far as getting into power positions, and you can now see they are another team that's starting to push into construction. And while I personally haven't had a ton of experience with Final Zone coming to construction, it's starting to look like it might be close, if not here entirely. So this could start getting hot over here very, very quickly.
Yeah, this is a holiday hot drop, right? We've got duos in the lobby right now. It's a push and Report. He needs to collect those tags up top, down low. The rewind, gonna put him back up top. He's got the intel that he needs right here. It's a great play, great push. And I do believe he was able to scan those tags. The bad thing is, zone's crashing, and you got a team right above you. So damage is not going to be too catastrophic, but the rotation through might be lethal. You can see there's a player up top. There's also a little bit of that burning sensation that's coming through from that operator as well. So intel is going to give Report's location away, and he's going to have to make a transition down to the bottom side of this construction side. So Lotex in the background, as well as Valu getting in the kill feed. Andrew going to get dropped as Andrew took down Legend earlier. Ada going to get dropped as well. That's another team wiped completely. 15 teams down, 36 players remaining. And this is a all-out blitz for the zone now. It's 3 kills on the board for Impulse and his teammates. Here comes Lag, the leader, the lobby leaderboard from last game. We're going to see this engagement in... Oh, boy. This is probably not the play. The knock flexing. Gonna get Princed right there. The finish coming through, and Impulse with a slither of health might be able to get away on the four-wheeler.
Yeah, and something I don't think we've really talked about yet that has really come to a lot of light in some of these recent rotations is the teams that have been able to get their custom loadout are obviously coming through and starting to pick up the kills as things collapse in. We just did have another airdrop, so it'll be interesting to see if any players are able to get back into the mix off the revive flight, possibly get themselves a custom loadout and bring things back together, kind of full circle almost. I did see Citrus in the feed a moment ago, and that was a player that you definitely mentioned earlier, someone who is normally very, very big in the BR scene and had a little bit of a slow start in game one. So we'll see, but right now looking like we are on Rosewind and Dior, and well, that's a couple players we certainly would recognize from BR past as well. Looks like the EBR going to be the main focus here, trying to look over the hills between the houses. And, well, you know, again, the snipers can have a lot of opportunity, especially because the hills are a little bit more condensed. You're not taking, like, full-on cross-map shots on Blackout compared to Isolated. So.
Oh, no, yeah. And then look at this. You got a lovely master bedroom that's overlooking a wide open loadout zone, right? So, I mean, you've got the right intentions here on this positioning, but you know, it's not going to be too fruitful for kills. They've got 3 under their belt right now. It's all about maintaining themselves throughout the game and put themselves in a position to capitalize in the end game. And Expecty actually going to be rezzed off of that revive flight, so we're going to see him drop back in with his teammate Report, who I believe is on the further south side of the hill. Don't know if that engagement will come through, but with Rosewind and his teammate Poppy Dior, we'll see if anything's happening. Flexing going to get taken down by Citrus, and I'm not 100% sure if Impulse was res. That might be another team eliminated in one of those top 5 finishers that we saw from last game. So Merely and Citrus are on their game day. They've got 4 on board. They're looking to get more as well, as I do see Impulse is back. The bad thing is Bomber's right here. Oh, baby. There goes the flash from the defender, but it's not going to prove to be a successful way to transition. Citrus going to be killed and thirsted, and it's all on Merely now to hold down the fort for the team.
Yeah, with the zone shrink coming into 30 seconds and that damage starting to ramp up, it is going to be a little bit difficult to comfortably get those tags, especially with Bomber just hanging out right there waiting. And this is a big team to eliminate or at least cripple if at all possible, right? Again, these guys, you know, looking back at the likes of the Alchemy roster and things like that, like these were always every single tournament names to talk about. And man, this tournament, it has been Prince, man. 5 kills on board. Prince. I think he had 7 in the first game. I mean, they're looking to extend that lead. They're not comfortable with just coming out of the gate swinging and then, you know, having a good enough performance. They're looking to just keep driving that nail into the coffin, and looks like we will have a little bit of a rip situation there, but looks like we have another screen ready to go. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, Merely. Hey, he's back in the game. Look, I don't know if he got tags, but the fact that he's still alive is absolutely outstanding. Yeah. I mean, Lag and Prince continuing to run the lobbies. Blurdy's the last one alive. They are game 1 victors. But I did see Kurto drop earlier. I don't know if the tags got scanned out for them. This is a very wide open transition here for Merely. And to take this gunfight is bigger than an ego challenge that I would be willing to risk, right? As we see, Blurdy's going to have the top side control. This might be open rain, open shots, free kills, but it does look like the rotation is going to come through. Goran Cerberusky going to take down the 2 that were in construction side for the longest without taking these shots. Slothy, Rapalo, see you next game. Adios and vaya con Dios. Your journey ends here in game number 2. Very unfortunate, very sad. 10 seconds for this revive flight comes through. Blurdy going to go through for the clutch of the gods. Going to be able to get the scan off as well as a little bit of a rotation through, as now we're on board with Insolence. Plenty of teams left now as top 14. Not necessarily where you want to end up. Saitama going to be blessed with some shots from Insolence. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but Valua is going to be there for the cleanup. So line them up, knock them down. Teammates putting in some work there, Day.
And even some solid quick scoping coming through there, as well as another team is going to be eliminated. We can see off in the distance, Gora is still alive and looks like plates up plenty for insolence, even dropping a kinetic for his teammate. So definitely wanting to make sure that he's in a healthy position. And now you can see Expecki was able to get back on board thanks to Report. 1 kill on board for him. Still got both players alive, though. And at this point in the game, with only 23 players remaining, things are starting to run down to the end. Cerberusky and Gora coming on in. Report now trying to get out. He's taking fire. That's a down.
That's a down. Report's going to get dropped. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Cerberusky and Gora now the aggressives. Expecki, who dropped earlier, got res. Is now on him to hold it down for the team. Lag and Prince, again, back on their game. They're up the top side of the satellite dish, but Cerberusky and Gora trying to get the finish on his Specky. As Report's been dropped, he was a kill leader from the last BR tournament that we did. It was solos. Right now, the duo tandem just not putting in nearly as much effect as we seen from him in BR tournaments past. So we'll see if they can pick up the slack here, as Specky is going to be expected to clutch it up for the boys. Now, Richard from GSK as well as Legend, they're back in full effect. Impulse trying to make the rotation through. The zone is crashing. There's 10 teams left now. These multipliers are absolutely massive. As Richard's getting some shots in on Valoo, the shots are crisp, but the rewind is even better. Legend's going to get the finish there as the knock comes through, and that is going to be out for Valoo, but his teammate still lurking in the vicinity. Could pay off as a comeback.
Ooh, Richard got the drop onto Impulse here. Can they get the flank? Rewind back, ends up getting gunned down, and there's another squad eliminated, but Legend is down in zone. And Richard not going to be able to go for the revive, just going to have to get on out. 13 players remain. Ooh, crispy shot, yeah. Not a knock or anything, but...
No, but hey, love the effort, right?
The snipers are getting rolling.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. Is it bullet drop velocity better on Blackout or something? I don't know. Everything just lines up perfectly for these guys in this rotation. Richard right now, he's getting lined up, but the snowboard, he's going to be able to escape for the time being. Well, Wisey is actually going to get dropped, or he's going to drop Richard as from one demon to another we go. Prince and Lag still alive here in this final circle. Asuna and Supra. The Psychosis coming through. Wisey, Bomber, looking to get aggressive. Supra, going to be knocked. Bomber going to get the finish on the other. It's Wisey for 2, though. Cerberusky and Gore on the opposite side looking for the third party. Nope, they're looking for a little bit of a safe travel and transition into this final zone.
All right, well, we're down to 5 teams, and I believe once again, Lag and Prince have themselves a juicy multiplier coming. And
there we go.
There we go. All right, juicy. Yep, Lag and Prince are here. We've got Bodao and HF alive, Gora and Cerberusky, Wisey and Bomber, and then Ghost OG. Going to be the last remaining player of his team, and you can see he's got the snowboard trying to make a rotation, but it's going to be right into the hands of Cerberusky.
Oh my!
I almost thought he was going for the KRM play. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, if you think you can hit this load off drop and get out, well, maybe you can. I don't know. What were you doing, HF? The finish. Oh, he was knocked already. That's a free kill. Gora going to be able to take advantage of one. Cerberusky going to get knocked. That's it for Cerb and Gora. Ghost, how did you make this transition? How are you still alive? What in the world is going on? Lag and Prince taking some heat now. His final zone crashing. Ghost OG laying down the hammer. 8 on board, 7 in total for himself.
1v1v1.
Oh, 1v1v. Oh, is Lag the only player alive? Is Prince down? He's out?
Yeah, Prince is down and out to Ghost OG, who Ghost 7 kills on board, top 3 finish at least here. Definitely coming through with a big performance as Zone continues to close on in. You can see the utility coming in, trying to get Ghost, but Lag does have to worry about Bomber on the left. Lag certainly wants to come through with a first place finish this game, as they fell just a little bit short in that game 1. Again, 1 tick of zone damage more.
Oh, Lag.
Oh, and he's
Oh, Lag.
There's no way he makes that, right?
Ghost,
Ghost is pushing!
The push, the rewind. The shots, they're not there. Ghost's going to be able to... I mean, the chain link fence is not enough. Yeah, it's plenty of cover. Also, there's a little bit of a cement block. Mans is moving. Mans is a demon. Mans is a freak. The zone's crashing in. He can't hop the fence. Hello? I'm right here. I'm hiding behind the tree. That's going to be it. Bomber is going to be taking game number 2. brought to you by the Zone that crashed on the outside of the zone. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new victor here in this Blackout game number 2. What an eventful ending. What a way to go. Hate to see some of the way that game progressed, but hey, best part of that zone was on the outside looking in. So 6 kills in total. The 2 times multiplier is going to come through. And what a hell of a way to end that Blackout game day.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And another good performance out of Prince and Lag. Top 3 finish. So getting some of that multiplier. Another like 13 kill game or something. Looking to extend that lead. Ghost OG, I think, was the last alive on his team for like 5, 6, 7 minutes there at the end. And he pulled together like 4 kills. Yeah, he pulled a triple kill together in that final zone. I mean, oh man, definitely.
I think he got the yoink, but it's still a kill. I think it was HN who was downed. I didn't even see him take down.
Oh, with the KRM?
That guy was frying at the end. Unfortunate timing though for him is we saw that zone crash, and obviously you can't jump that chain link fence. It does offer a little bit of support for coverage, as well as that cement block that was underneath it. But it was Bomber who came through with an absolute goat of a finish there at the end. So Lag and Prince still hanging tight there as they got a top 5 finish, which means they get a 1.75 multiplier. But Bomber's going to be a victorious one here in game number 2 for that 2 times multiplier. It's going to be 12 points in total for them. We'll get lobby leaderboards and whatnot shown as soon as possible. But so far, so good. We've done 1 on each map day. We're going to get geared up to do it again as we're going to get geared up for game number 3. Absolutely epic finish there in that Blackout game, though.
Yeah, I definitely got to agree with you. And now it's back to Isolated. And I got to say, overall, Lag and Prince, I mean, they've got to be way ahead of the pack. And they've showed that they can do it on both maps, right? So if you're one of the fans in the crowd and you didn't bet on Lag and Prince, well, you're losing big here. And because some of the big names have just not been performing, right? I mean, that is something that we've seen now, not only in Isolated, but as well in Blackout. So maybe game 3 stirs things up a little bit. Game 1, sniper presence basically didn't exist. Game 2, we saw a lot of them starting to come to life. So game 3 could be where some of those picks get through and get secured as players just get a little bit more warmed up. So I'm excited for it. I hope you're excited for it. And it's been a great event so far. The Rivalry series, the holiday hot drop coming through. BR needed some love for a while now, and we're getting it.
Yeah, we can't kiss 2022 goodbye without having a little bit of a farewell present, right? Well, it's not quite the new year yet. 2023 is still a little over a day away. So we're going to enjoy what we have left here in the holiday hot drop. We're going to take a look at the top 10 finishes from game number 2. Not quite sure when we're going to have the lobby leaderboard for points as far as spreads go, but as you can see, YZ and Bomber coming through with some absolute clutch finishes. Zertoium and Ghost OG. Ghost, man, what a freak, man. Man was moving with a mission and a purpose, able to secure that 2nd spot. Lag and SF Prince also hold the number 1 spot as far as points goes, but we already know, I mean, all they needed to do was secure 5 to 10 kills and get a top 5 finish, and they're just going to be golden. But Dow and HF going to have that 4th place slot, and the crowd favorite, I know he's one of my favorites, Cerberusky, Gora is an absolute beast too. They're going to get that top 5 finish, which means their kills are going to be the multiplier for that 1.75. Super and Soda not going to be able to complete in that top 5, but surely there is still plenty of action. We're only at the halfway point, Dave.
Yeah, only at the halfway point, 2 games in. We've got 1 more Isolated, 1 more Blackout. Can anybody stir the pot, or are Lag and Prince just here to dominate? Listen, we knew they had a lead coming in from the first game verdict. They extended it, period.
Oh, yeah. They extended it. Before they extended it even more, we're going to get geared up for game number 3. But before we do, we're going to take a short intermission, guys. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss the action that's to come. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the COD Mobile Rivalry Series. We got a duo hot drop that is one for the ages. Right now, we're at the halfway point. Excuse me. We're getting geared up for game number 3, and back over to Isolated we go. Denominate. Are you excited to see where we will be going here? As we got the lobby leaderboards ready to go as well. So, plenty of action left to go. As a matter of fact, as I've already mentioned, it's only the halfway point.
Yeah, and we've had one team really stand out far from the crowd. That has been Lag and Prince. But I will say there were quite a few teams during that second game that did pop off. Some top 5 finishes, racking up some kills. I know Ghost OG was there at the end. And look, the performance able to get him and his partner into 4th. But as we mentioned, Lag and SF Prince far ahead. Double the points of the number 2 team, which is Wisey and Bomber, who did have a fantastic game 2, as well as we've got Kurdo and Blurty, the winners of that game 1 matchup. Zert and Ghost OG, Hypno and Cynics, Soberuski and Gora, Legend and Richard, Empathy and Resume, Aim and Vita, and Intent, Flexing and Impulse down at 9.25. So you guys can see just how far ahead Lag and Prince have been. But absolutely could see a comeback. We still have 2 games ahead of us, another Isolated and another Blackout. And all it would really take, honestly, especially in the case of Wisey and Bomber, if they just have a good game and Lag and Prince get taken out early by, maybe a sleeper team like a Cerberuski and a Gora, or even a Flexing like an Impulse, if they just get the right fight, that could put a little bit of a hindrance on the lead that Lag and Prince do currently have, because they've been cleaning up the lobby. They've been making it difficult, Verdict, for anybody else to get kills.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. Lag and Prince definitely sitting in a little bit of a comfortable spot. Is we've seen them perform consistently throughout this 2-game spread so far, but it's all about the back end. The last 2 that are going to matter the most right now. The kill points are definitely manageable for the teams that are outside of the top 10. We're literally looking at 9.25 to be exact in that 10th place spot for Flexing and Impulse. As rapidly as they've been roaming the lobbies, the kills just haven't been there. Farm few in between, as the point spread definitely very close. So what you want to do is you want to get in the top 8 spot to get a little bit of that cash prize pool. As remember, 7th and 8th place spots are both going to be receiving $1,000 prize pools. As we're getting geared up for game number 3, we're about 30 seconds roughly away from getting into the action, but anything can go here. I think the lead is very comfortable spot to be at for Lag Prince, but you can't get to placement rolling into games 3 and 4. You got to continue that same mindset. As $6,000 day, 6,000 is what's up for grabs for first place, and you already know they are not going to take their foot off the pedal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And looking at the scores that we had, Verdict, you're almost 20 points, right? A game for Lag and Prince. I mean, I don't know if that's
Roughly
the exact 20 and 20 or 19 and 19 or whatever, but again, if they drop early, it is very realistic that we could see other teams start to creep on up towards that position. The multiplier has been very, very strong for Lag and Prince. So if they don't have a top finish, if they drop out a little bit early, if someone else has like a 20 kill game between the players, that could be a
20 kills is a high ass, bro. This lobby's been sweaty.
10 and 10. I mean, that's very doable.
Yeah, but you're playing makeup right now. You got to think ahead. You got to put 15 and 15 at least, or get some top 10 placement points right now. As we're on board with Wisey, they're going to be in that 2nd place spot, looking to get some loot here on the infamous landing here in the farmlands. Now, as I saw the drop, it was from the north side of Countdown going over to Radar Base. Some great equipment here being grabbed and looted up now, as there's 3 teams in the vicinity. Taking a look at the action here as Zertonium and Ghost are trying to get something brewing here. It does look like we are actually in this state. I'm sorry there, but Squeeze Clips going to be rudely interrupted by Papu Radley. Love to see it now as first kills coming through. First bloods are in. Still 36 teams alive. And loot is certainly abundant here in this area now. As I was taking a look at it, there's not legendary items. Yes, there is. surely enough, what comes along with the risk of dropping there, it's going to be Team sweating it out, and that is going to be a Nox Super trying to get away with her life, but it is not looking too good here for Team Supra.
Yeah, man, you are right. We're still very, very early, so we'll see what can happen here. A little bit of Ghost OG in the action there. Looks like we've got them collapsing on Doo-Doo and a Biggie, so we'll have to see. But it does look like we've got a couple tags down in front, so unsure if that's a full squad that maybe hasn't cleared off the map yet, or if a couple divergent squads have fallen. We've actually got a couple players here on top of Ghost and Zert, and they're maybe looking to double back for some cover. And, well, that's definitely smart with the hills that we have. But here comes Turbo pushing on up. It's Lucasen and teammate. There's a knock for Turbo, a finish for Turbo. And the EM2 going to come through, and there's Lucasen's team eliminated, and Turbo starting off with 2 on the board.
Yeah, that is turn the Jets on. Turbo putting it into full gear. 2 on board off the bat. Scouting report came back. Standoff was not a very, very populated part of the map to drop in game number 1. Lucasen was the only one who did it earlier, but Turbo YT making sure that they make anybody pay the price who does drop this time around. It's 5 seconds before this revive flight goes through. We've already had 3 teams drop, 63 players still alive. Going to see this zone crash in as we see a ton of action on the outskirts of Outpost. I was taking a look at it. There is multiple teams in the vicinity. They're going to have to start making that transition through as we see YZ get the knock there on Kyle. Saitama going to be able to get a knock himself. Bomber trying to play his life. Here comes the push. They've disappeared. YZ's at the top. Bomber from the backside. The collapse. So David 12 never stood a chance as the pinch comes through. Cheeks were absolutely clinched. Right now, we're looking for the shots to come through, as well as Turbo now trying to play his life. Inside the church building we go, but it is Ninja and his teammate Turbo trying to head for the hills and get out of the vicinity. A standoff is no longer one of those areas where we don't see teams coming through. There is plenty of action here.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. And we've already got 4 teams taken out of the mixed verdict, if not more at this point, down to 61 players remaining here in game 3 as an airdrop starting to come through. This is going to be our initial supply drop, and then we're going to start getting some of those custom loadouts in the mix as well. And the EM2 definitely looking pretty strong here in the Battle Royale meta. So
This is a cheeky spot here for Kurto.
Yeah, I was about to say Kurto is like,
Kurto.
Don't move, buddy.
Just bro. Bold
man.
strategies, Cotton. Does it pay off? Hayes and Ducks. I don't know if they know it, but there is a. There's the footprint indicators or the footsteps indicators. He's definitely making a bit of noise. So Blurty right here for the transition. The cross, the suppressive fire, not necessary, but Resume right on the hill. Oh boy, wide open challenges right there. It's Blurty. Gonna eat some bullets, able to stay alive. Hayes and Ducks gonna remain inside of the top side of the second floor of this building. There are plenty of teams. Cynics and Hypno are absolutely into the thick of it. His Resume and Squad are right on the inside of the second floor of the opposite building. Gemini gonna be able to get a knock. That's a finish as well. 31 teams remaining. Prince gets the first airdrop in. Low-Tech's gonna be able to get the shots in on Gemini to get the finish. So teammates are running rampant with the kills and the finishes. They're absolutely coming through. Hayes going to be able to hop back inside of the vicinity of this first floor, and round we go. The objective here is to get the kills, but it's also to stay alive. All right, well, we'll see if this action continues on now as Resume and Squad are still inside of the second floor of this duplex-style building. Right now, it's Hayes wide open in the open. Resume shooting them down in cold blood. And Ducks now in a very improper position as he's going to hold down the bottom side of the floor. As you can see, first floor is not occupied by anybody other than him. Resume and Empathy content with holding the top side of the staircase, just waiting for anybody to make any kind of wrong moves.
Yeah, and
Ducks,
it might be Ducks.
I don't think he's got anywhere to go here, buddy.
Yeah, he was chancing it at those stairs a little bit, but like you mentioned, Resume and Empathy could just absolutely come through with the beams there. And we've got, some third-party potential here as well. Not only is Dux trying not to run into Empathy and Resume, but he has to worry about getting collapsed on from others as well. You can see Cynics is starting to rotate in. Dux barely going to make it out alive there, but is alive. So we'll have to see right now. I believe he is last alive on his team, so he's got to find a way to get tags and survive. And man, Hypno and Cynics are coming, man.
Oh, he is. He's in a crap sandwich right now, Dave. Hypno and Cynics on the collapse, and you got up top Resume and Empathy. You pick your poison at this calls. If he's able to stay alive for 30 seconds, his teammate will be back, and maybe we'll see his tags get collected at some point. Impulse going to be able to get the knock. That's a headshot on Merely. Buddy, what was going on over there? I'm not sure, but this one is slowly developing, and Dux is able to play his life for as long as he has is just baffling. I mean, I get it. Resume, Empathy, you don't want to get too aggressive. You don't want to be too exposed. You don't want to, float your life out too long. The white picket fence is where we see things going, but there's nothing white picket about this situation for Dux. So he's able to play his life. The indicator for the sound is the footsteps are inside of the building. It's Hypno with a shotty. The knock comes through, but guess what, Day? He played his life to the fullest, and his teammate is coming back. Another kill on board for Hypno, and his teammate will make it there first.
All right, well, maybe only a kill on board, but a kill on board is the start of greater things, and we'll have to see if they can bring that to the table. Hypno, 2 fairly close-range weapons in hand, though. He does have the Bi-15, that shotgun, but as well has the Bison, the Pocket LMG, or the Bullfrog, some players may know it as from other titles as well. Ooh, Legend going to get the down and the finish there, and it looks like maybe that kill onto Steph is a squad elim. So Prince, takes out Ghost OG and teammate. That's a big team from last round that is now eliminated, and presumably another Lag and Prince hot game underway.
Yeah, another hot one as well. As I've taken a look at the zone, there's several teams trying to crash in from that standoff region. Still teams outside the zone in the black market area, as well as nuclear plant, trying to play their lives and extend it to the fullest. The zone not as lethal as it usually is towards the end game. So do as much damage as you can outside of zone. Make sure you get there in time. Vita too fast getting there in time to get Richard. And that's going to be a knock as we've seen Richard and his teammate pop off towards the end of mini games so far. Right now, Richard's going to have to prey on getting picked back up. As we see 25 seconds on this revived flight, Gilmania going to get dropped. Lotex finally starting to pick up the slack now as Achman going to get the finish. That's going to be another elim. 25 teams left. We're only in zone 2, rolling into zone 3. And with Flexit and team not on board with a kill yet, got to cover the gap at some point. Can't play too cautiously, as we're not awarding points for placement. We're awarding placement for kill multiplier. So at some point, they're going to have to get a rolling on some of this action. Right now, the action is still very clearly on the outskirts of New Vision City and Nuketown. So Pier is hotter than all get out. And we're at the end of December, Dave. This is supposed to be like crashing the season towards winter, right? Wrong. Only thing cold about this one was Andrew and Otta getting the knock and the finish on that Resume and Empathy duo. They're going to be sent to the next game.
Yeah, and this has definitely been a little bit of a toss-up game. We still see Lag and Prince getting some in the mix, but we're seeing other teams starting to come through with some kills. And I think taking down Empathy and Resume for Andrew and Ada here is definitely a big team to pull through. Resume is one of those players that has certainly had good BR performances in the past. So taking out a potential sleeper player is absolutely huge for them there. Satama and Spurs are still alive, and we saw Spurs with some crispy snipes with the I think he had the ZRG earlier,
yeah.
But he does have the EM2 and the Kilo now. Citrus in a position here. Who gets the hit marker? Gets the finish, or the knock rather, with the EM2. Or, oh my goodness. So many.
No, the M21.
M21. Yeah, it's the M21,
I mean,
not the.
Oh, that gun is broken, bro. At some point, somebody's gonna have to find a way to get it out of the hands of an elite player like him. Right now, the finish comes through as the push is certainly right around the corner. Satama, he's content with playing his life to the fullest. They've got 2 on board. and a top 20 finish does not net any kind of multiplier or bonuses. So Citrus and Merely getting on board for their first this game. Saitama certainly not in a great spot. Citrus with the rewind puts it in reverse. Terry and Saitama going to fall for the bait. Here comes the roll around Merely at the top. Citrus making it rain. Kilo shots of pain. Certainly a big finish there. Getting them out of the lobby was primary objective, and it is completed. So far, so good for Citrus and Merely, but it's still got a lot of regaining to do for these next 2 games. Gonna have to continue to keep the same energy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we've got 20 teams left in game 3 here. Verdict just under 40 players alive, which means tags are probably still attempting to be grabbed or just looking for survival until the respawn flight comes in. And obviously we got a tank drop in next to our players here, but that is not going to be allowed. So kind of keep that in mind. Sabra going to find one with the knock and the kill onto Cerberusky.
Oh boy.
And Gora now on the run in zone here, getting chased. Scope X coming in for some more action. Going to jump on the snowboard here. And Gora with the outplay of the century.
Oh boy, get out of there. The hoopty. It's not very fast, but it's just enough to get past. So Gora going to be able to escape with his life. Oh my God, that was a close to death experience as I've seen one all game long. He's going to be able to get away as the holiday skin. Looking absolutely magnificent now as we're rolling into the new year. Right now, we got a new team coming in. It's Badal and his teammate HF. HF not going to be able to apply much pressure. He's going to get knocked and finished. The zone's going to be shrinking. The tags are going to be completely scanned in. No harm, no foul, though, as we see plenty of revive flights left. The snowboard absolutely 360 and 920. Just ridiculous amount of spins in the air. He's going to be able to escape with his life. Feed it too fast and aim up top on the hillside. And Merely and Citrus continuing on in their pressure pain as the regain has been pretty fruitful so far this game. 20 teams left, 37 players. But that revive flight swooping in, it's going to put us at 3 more. So we've got everybody in full effect. No tags weren't scanned. Or all tags were scanned. No tags left on the floor. So we've got a full zone coming through, and it is rolling into that 4 circle here momentarily, but still plenty of action to go through this one, Dave.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I got to say, Game 3 really shaping up here. Valu going to come through with the 2. Kurto going to get a knock and a finish onto Jan Reek. And it looks like that might be a squad wipe as well. But, Gora gets Citrus and Merely. Oh, goodness. This is one of the players we wanted to see come alive, and it looks like he might finally be here.
Someone poked the bear. Man is putting on a clinic. Right now, it's Merely and Citrus just in the pain path of destruction and devastation we'll see in Game 4, homies. Looking for that regain. It ain't happening here in Isolated. 30 seconds left to go to revive flight. There are 17 teams left. There are no tags on the ground as of yet. But Dow looking for some shots, trying to get some on Freddy YT. Deleted up top. Will they be able to hold off this push from the outskirts of zone? It does look like they're going to have to hop the snowboard and get a little bit better positioning as this zone is crashing very fast, and it's also putting some rapid damage in. Cerberusky and Gora, 2 kills to their name. They got the team wipe on Merely and Citrus. 2 demons out of the lobby, the last left to deal with, but I'm looking at it. It does look like Prince and Lag are still in it, and they might be able to continue their terror path as they have just been consistent all throughout this. Legend going to be able to get the knock there with the ZRG on Flex, and the push from Cerberusky. This might be a fruitful third party if they can get the right position.
Well, they are certainly looking for it, and with Cerberusky coming on in, he's got the high ground advantage. I do believe he may mostly be concealed. He's obviously got Ninja on with the upgrade specifically, so they may not know he's here, but Gora is not so lucky. His position is obviously going to be revealed. He gets up on top, which is big, but he does have multiple teams that could be potentially holding him in zone. You can see we've got COD Ninja here as well as Turbo, and Turbo had a little bit of a hot start earlier, so we'll have to see if he can keep things going here. Maybe pick one of these key players out. Gora's going to get a break. Turns, looking for Impulse now. Can't find the shots to connect. Gets the break.
Oh, look at the positioning here. He knows there's people there. He's going to go ahead and hold off the push from the inside. The Shadow Blade coming through. I'm not sure if it's Shadow Blade. Looks like Shadow Blade. Going to offer him a little bit of support for the rotation now as a little quicker, swifter rotation in. Wallbang's not going to give any information, but they are certainly still in the bottom side of that building. We'll keep an eye on that rotation, but Cerberusky and Gora's still alive, trying to get some top-tier placement as well as some regains. Sitting at a 6th place spot as of now. That's going to put you in a prize pool potential, but you're always lurking for some more. We'll see if they can continue to do so. Zone crashes in. We're going to be on the outside of the circus, boy, and I got to say, I don't know who's going to be the ringmaster of this lobby, but we're going to see some dynamic transitions as this open zone is going to provide a few hills and some trees. Position is going to be key. YZ positioning himself with logic. They're going to get the wipe. That's going to be another squad out last left to deal with. Impulse on the inside here is COD Ninja and Turbo looking for some more. The EM2. Oh, baby. Black Ops 2 special. Or Black Ops Cold War special. Trying to get a little special in close personal range. No! Legend, where did you come from? Richard gets the finish. My God, this one's escalating quickly. The KRM's coming out to play as well.
Yeah, and Turbo, who had a hot start, is now squad wiped. And it looks like Legend's not done. Coming back for more. Gets one on the Impulse. You can see Gora up top looking for some action. But Legend, the 5-piece in the feed!
Oh, baby!
Oh my goodness. What a play. What a run for some points here. Gora still alive, but this is a 1v2 here. Oh, the aggression and taken down. Legend with 6. This is the kind of performance that you need to make a comeback to try to catch up to Lag and Prince. And I gotta say, we've seen a little bit out of them this game, but I don't think they've had anywhere near as strong of a performance as they did in Game 1 and Game 2.
Oh my. Logic trying to get some shots in. The sniper coming into handy. The knock on Legend. This might be it. Richard, is this the end of the line? The rewind's going to pay off a little bit. Legend's not going to be able to have that attitude adjuster in. Scope going to be able to get a finish on Lag, or a knock rather. Prince going to be able to come through with an attitude adjuster himself. Logic and team going to be able to get the finish on Legend as well. 3 teams left. 5 players left to go. Zone's crashing. We've got a moment left here before this one comes down to a shrink. As we see YZ and team right there at the bottom side of the hill, they are able to make the full-on rotation through. Bomber is on the opposite side of the drop pit. Prince is still alive. These guys have been top 3 finishers for 3 games in a row. It's going to come down to the wire now as the top side of the hill has to push down. The building is certainly going to be very much so a great place to hide now, as we see everyone's coming in as Logic and team are trying to get this breach in, but the positioning is absolutely key here for YZ and his team.
Yep, you are absolutely right. Things coming down to an end here. Logic in a good position, but has to worry about the players behind him. He could be able to snag one on the Bomber here. Now getting gunned down. He's broke, heavily damaged, and still has Prince and Snitch to worry about. And Prince, not sure how many kills he has on the board, but again, looking at a top 3 finish once again for the team. Gonna juice that multiplier even harder. And
oh
boy, that was risky.
Risky business. This slow things down just a bit for his speeds right back up. Wallbangs from Logic. He's trying to find Prince, who has just been lurking in this building for the past 5 minutes, my guy. Certainly enough, nothing connects right there. He had the right track, but it's just not going to pay off. Bomber and YZ right here at the bottom side. They've had the hill for the most. Here comes the smoke, and here comes the push. No Stitch, no shot. No Stitch is going to get Prince. That's going to be the 3rd place finish for them. Stitch now looking to put the bow on it and wrap it up, seal it tight. Stitch gets knocked. It's all on Logic. He gets the 2-piece. He gets the finish. That's going to be the Game 3 victory going in favor of YZ and squad. My goodness, they couldn't have seen a picture-perfect ending for them. That is going to be the 1st place finish, and I think they had plenty of kills to go along with it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Logic is one of those players that we talked about earlier, expecting to come through, and it is a 13-kill 1st place finish for Logic and Snitch. It's going to get them that 2.0 multiplier. That's going to be a big 26 points on the board if my quick maths is correct. So that's it's a heck of a performance from them here today for
It is,
game
and
3.
definitely a little bit of a blunder on my end. Not YZ. They got the second place finish. That's logic and no stitch, no shots coming through on Prince to get the finish. They got those last 2 kills and logic. My God, what a freak of a finish for him. Game 3, an absolute banger, ladies and gentlemen. It comes down to the wire. 13 kills on board for them. That's going to be 26 points in total. If I'm not, I don't do maths very well, but that should certainly put them in a position to cover the gap, because I'm looking at it. I mean, it's certainly going to have Lag and Prince still in the top, spot for now. That's going to make things a little more interesting, as a huge game 3 proven to shake up the results for potentially do you have your calculator out? Is that what you're doing? Are you calculating
Yes.
on me? Are you? I caught you. I caught him, chat. We want to know just as much as you. We're invested. We're in deep. There's 3 games down. We got 1 more to go. It's blackout. Results look absolutely phenomenal. What I will say is Lag and Prince finishing top 3 spots for the past 3 games, as well as some kills to go along with it. I don't know if you can argue with consistency being a result. That is one case right there, and it's on.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen 3 different teams come through with first place finishes, and not a single time has it been Lag and Prince who are in that number 1 position. Even with a phenomenal game coming through from multiple different teams there at the end, right? I mean, that was maybe our most competitive game that we've had so far. I don't think it's going to be enough to close the gap per se, but definitely inching a little bit closer. And I, again, don't think Lag and Prince had as strong of a game as they did in game 1 and game 2. They still managed a top 3 finish, so they're going to get that multiplier, but they didn't have another 16 kill game. So we will have our placement standings coming up here momentarily, Verdict, to show our top 10 from that last game. And are there any names? I know you kind of lose track in those last couple minutes when you're down to a top 3, top 4. Do you remember any teams that stood out in the top 10 before we see the list?
I don't know about teams, but I know players. Legend had a street sweeper of a finish before he got eventually taken out. I think Mans ended up with like 8 kills, and he was on like a 6 streak. It was very unfortunate of a rotation for him, as I believe he got sniped in cold blood. I think it was Logic who was able to put an end to his reign of terror. My man's was going ham with the KRM. Garena would be proud to see it. I don't know if they're in attendance tonight, but that gun was an absolute monster of a room clearer if I've ever seen one. There's no way we go into a duos and see 5-6 streak all in the vicinity of a finishing circle. Right now we're looking at the top placements from that last isolated. We've already given the shouts out to Logic and No Stitch. 26 points on board for them for those 13 kills to go along with it. We're not, those aren't official results. Those are results calculated by Day and myself as we saw the kills coming through. YZ and Bomber with a second. Lag and Prince, a consistent 3-game spread so far. They get that 3rd place finish. And of course, outside of that, you're still going to get the points multipliers for Legend and Richard. Scope and Somber are going to be able to scope out the 5th place spot. Insolence and Baloo with a 6. Cerberusky and Gora, looking at the fan favorites and the crowd favorites, they have been consistent, just not enough to close the gap, as they are going to be sitting outside that top 5 with a 7th place finish, as well as Evandrum and Envious, Hypno and Cynics, as well as Flexing and Impulse with that top 10.
All right, Verdict, I do believe we are going to step away here in just a moment for a quick break while we get our leaderboards all totaled up officially, and not just the quick day punching some numbers in on the calculator. So that'll be definitely huge. Definitely expecting to see Prince and Lag still at the top, but we had a approximately 20-point gap between them and the 2nd place competitors, and that might be a little bit closer here. If they even have a decent game 4, they could come through and close things out for that $6,000 first place prize pool you were mentioning earlier. And now that we're heading into a game 4 here shortly, Verdict, we have to have one heck of a performance out of any team that wants to try to steal that away from them.
No, you're absolutely right. We're going to go ahead and head to the break because I need one heck of a performance of a water down, man. The pipes are getting a little dry here. So we're going to take it to break. We're going to be right back. As soon as we do get back, we will show the lobby leaderboards, 4 points in totals. Don't go anywhere. We shall return. And ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It is game 4 bound. We are 3 games under our belt. It's now or never day. Taking a look at the prize pool. What are these guys and gals playing for? Well, guess what? It's a $20,000 investment right here. Who's going to get the large majority of that? It's going to be first place with $6,000. Date. Where we're standing at right now, because we got the lobby leaderboards ready to show up here in a minute. Who do you have eyes on as far as getting that first place? Obviously, it's Prince and Lag, but second, third, fourth, fifth, all of that are going to be receiving prize pools. Right now, it's 45.5 points. The gap is slowly getting bridged.
Yeah, we were looking at, again, I think a 19.5 to a 39.5 between game 2 and game 3. So the gap went from a 20-point spread to now sitting at just about a 14-point spread. So definitely going to be on the lookout for Wisey and Bomber to have a crack performance here. But right on their tail is going to be Logic and No Snitch. And then the gap does start to drop a little bit more. You've got Legend, who, I mean, honestly, the reason this team has the points they have right now,
So true.
that, like, 6-man spree was absolutely incredible. As you mentioned, would make Garena proud. Kurdo and Blurdy, 22. Cerberusky and Gora at 16. Hypno and Cynics at 16.5. And Ghost OG and Zert at 14. Empathy and Resume at 12.5, along with Aim and Vita. So I think your top 3 teams are potentially competing for that number 1 spot, with Lag and Prince clearly ahead of the pack. But
yeah, you're gonna have to have a stellar performance to make up that gap. That's a lot of ground to cover. Prince and Lag did themselves a great service of putting themselves out and above the rest of the competition early on, and they've been very consistent throughout their game spread. So taking a look at it, what do these teams have to do? They got to pace themselves, but it's now or never. This is the moment of truth. Are they going to be able to cover it? It's 15 points, and then you've got to calculate. These Lag and Prince have been consistently finishing top 3. There's no way they're not going to be in a top 10 spot. So you've got to put it all on the line here in this game for Blackout Drop.
Yeah, well, I think the top 3 are the teams that are competing for first. You not only have to have a great performance as that number 2 or number 3 team, you have to have Lag and Prince just not perform, right? Like, that is the ultimate reality here.
I mean,
you got to be preying on their downfall for your success.
You got to do more than just prey on their downfall. You've got to put up the best duo game of your life, and you've got to put yourself in a top 3 spot. You got to finish first with at least 10 kills on your team to even consider being top 10 or top number 1. There's too much ground to cover. I think this cushion of 14 points is, well, not quite 14 points, but a little under 14 points is plenty enough to close it out. You don't have to get like a handful of kills and put yourself, maybe 2, 3, 4, and then get that multiplier in to effect. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, I don't do math very well, but I'm just thinking that I think Lag and Prince might be having the crown early on and going into this game 4.
It's definitely possible, and it is certainly looking that way. Again, a 14.5 point lead. We're seeing teams struggle to get 14 points in the game, let alone whatever Lag and Prince put up during this game. They close out the game with 10 kills and another 1.75 multiplier. Golden. You'd have to have an outrageous number. I mean, again, you'd have to have a 20-kill game and a first-place finish to even try to compete if Lag and Prince have a good game.
All right, well, we'll have to see now as we're getting geared up for our last final game of this COD Mobile Rivalry Series. It has been certainly one of the hottest of hot drops we've seen so far, closing out 2022, crowned multiplayer Stage 5 champions, world champions at that. Right now, we're trying to crown a champion for this big prize pool for Battle Royale, and it has been a very epic one so far. Can we see Prince and Lag close it out in a dramatic fashion, or will we see that downfall? We haven't seen it in any of the games yet. As a matter of fact, they have just gotten better and better as far as placement goes throughout this, and consistency has been key. We're going to see who is going to step up and rise up to the occasion and possibly close the gap slightly. I just don't know if it's possible. I'm going to be optimistic. YZ and Bomber, we're looking for a bomb of a game here in number 4. we're looking for Logic and No Stitch to also come through. Who's going to be able to dethrone the champions now as we're taking a look at it? Game 4 has started. We are gearing up for it. The drop looks pretty sweet. It does look like we're going to be on the south side of Hydro Dam, rolling to the outskirts of Nuketown Island, which, again, going to cut the map right in the middle. Pretty much everywhere is accessible.
Leave it to Verdict to be optimistic for you guys, chat. I'm on the Lag and Prince train for the win, but you know what train I'm on even before that one is that exciting, good gameplay. Again, I want to go into this last leaderboard screen, a little bit before it's sitting there trying to do the maths in our head and figure out, did Logic and Snitch get enough points to take first place and things of that nature. And Satama off the bat with a big kill. We've also got Spurs and Splash coming through, and it looks like we've already got a squad eliminated on the hot drop. Does look like Lucasen able to get a knock onto report, and now Scope getting pushed. Oh, the boy. Fancy footwork and the hop. 32 HP and a Dream going to secure that kill. Now going to get out of dodge and try to get plated up. Might be jumping right into an enemy team, though.
Oh, yeah. Went from one demon to another. Construction is hotter than get out. Sombra going to get knocked. Kyle going to be able to get the thirst. Oh, Scope is holding off for the push. It looks like it's going to be a cut your loss kind of scenario. There goes the finish there. Kyle's going to do the deed. He's going to hop the elevator. Goes quickly down the chute. We'll see if Scope can continue the journey here as the regain is going to have to be astronomical. I don't think these guys have a place in the top 10. Top 8 is where you want to be landing at for some points. And Logic and No Stitch still alive and kicking it. Wisey and Bomber. I think that's the question of the hour right now. Let's take a look. Bomber did get dropped. Not quite sure where Wisey ended up at, though.
Yeah, definitely hard to say. 61 players remain, Verdict. There's plenty of point opportunities on the board. And, well, Construction, you've got a chance for a couple kills here. Obviously, you can see Kyle trying to get over to the elevator here. He's going to get the activation that's going to get him up potentially to his teammates' tags. And then he's got to make it on out and survive. Tags are locked in.
Wow.
Oh, he ninjas up, but ninjas right into an enemy
Get
team.
Out of here.
He's on the run, on the jump. I think he...
Kyle.
Yeah, I think he makes it. I don't think they chase. They don't give up high ground, right?
Olympic vault, homie. Yeah. I mean, you don't push down after that. I mean, you don't know if it's one player or not. You don't know what the scenario is going to call for that. Construction's hotter than all get out. No Snitch. Going to be able to come through. Badal's going to get knocked. The finish... Not quite sure if it's going to come through. It does. So No Stitch going to be able to pick up his first body there. Deleted down low. Hayes and Ducks up top. Trying to see if they can line the headies up. The shot's going to give away his location. Dam is certainly not a safe place right now. You can see the plates coming through. Ducks not going to be too aggressive on this push. Why? You've got topside. Just go ahead and continue to make it rain shots down. You don't have any kills on board, but we do see Gilmania get griefed in the background. RFP, homie, has not been a great 4-game spread for you, but you're still the Latham Jesus in our books.
We definitely love us some Gilmania, chat. But we're not picking favorites here. This is competition, and this is for the big bucks, too. This is, I think, one of the biggest BR events I've got to be a part of ever in anything. So definitely glad to be here. And well, things keep rolling. Deleted and Freddy. Looks like got a team near them, but they are mostly just safe in the building here. Maybe looking to push out a little bit. As you can see now, Hayes and Duck pushing up from the Hydro Dam. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell on their movement if they know teams are below them or not, but Kyle, the solo squad
right now.
Yeah,
digging graves left and right. Gemini going to get a knock and a finish. No Snitch coming through. Cerberusky's fair game. The finish is did and done. Aim going to get the knock on Morgan. Plays Gora. Oh my God, there's so much action going on. Insolence going to get a little bit of citrus action on himself as he gets knocked as well. Everything coming through. 8 teams have been officially eliminated. 15 or 20 players in total. have been wiped out. But it is looking like we might get some of those players back on some of the revive flights that are coming through as well. 30 seconds left before it happens. Citrus and merely on the outskirts. Insolence was not finished, so therefore Citrus is looking to get that. And with the top side of this warehouse being occupied, transitions to the zone going to be a little delayed.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. And all the money's on the line here, Verdict. It's looking, again, Lag and Prince, they've been rocking it. But you know who else is rocking it? Citrus, able to get the kill there. Does have a little bit of armor, but look at Valo in the window here.
Yeah,
could grab a sneaky and cheeky kill onto Citrus here.
Yeah.
Merely coming over in the ATV. I don't know if Merely saw him.
Look at the attention. Look, Goldfish right now. Citrus going to be able to go right in broad daylight, get the rotation through. Valu playing it like a gargoyle, just waiting to be activated, right? Nothing happening there. The tag's not going to be captured as of yet, and Valu is just going to have to play their lives. So Merely and Citrus going to continue to play a little bit of mind games here as they get the knock and finish on that player, Insolence, who was downed earlier. And Valu, I mean, you're stuck in the top side of this warehouse. You don't have medic. There's not a lot of options here. You're just banking on Merely and Citrus to roam freely around and hopefully not camp these tags any longer.
I think hopefully is a big ask at this point. Again, this is where it all counts. Taking your opponents out of the competition is key here. You can see it right now. We're on is it Davin and Kyle once again.
Yeah,
this is the first time I've seen Davin's perspective, but yeah, you're not wrong. Kyle definitely putting up some numbers, and you know, I mentioned I hadn't seen much of Davin, and there it is, a kill on the board for him. That's going to put them into at least a fairly reasonable position. I believe they have a total of 4 kills on the board. Yeah, 4 kills on the board for them, and we're in a top 27 left, right? We got at least 11 teams, or at least 9 teams that are knocked out of the competition.
Oh,
we're saying 11 teams.
Oh,
yeah.
9. I'm doing quick math. That's 9. It's 27
yeah,
out of 36.
It's 9. Yeah.
Breeze Stream's going to get knocked right here. It does look like the top side of the hill is where we're going to see Turbo try and retreat back. Does know that there's people lurking. There's other players in the vicinity, and one of them is the Grim Reaper and Kyle himself, who has put 3 bodies under the ground already this game. Bree is going to be quickly rotated on as well. Here comes the push from the backside. It's Kyle. It is O'Davin. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that finish. Kyle says absolutely. He has not stopped his vendetta as of yet. Oh, boy! The 4-wheeler, the ATV, it's going to get destroyed. Squeeze clips, drop, report. Gets the finish. Jean Reek now as we take our attentions to the north side of the map. And a lot of action here in game number 4, Day. Oh, boy. What a shot.
Yeah, a lot of action here in game number 4 is an absolute understatement. Again, there's so much on the line for these teams. Even if you're not competing for a number 1 position, there is so much money in these prize pools as well as the bragging rights. And now Prince, this is a dangerous push here, but does have Lag with him. Asuna and I believe that's Supra are separated here. Ooh, Snitch with the knock and finish on Gora.
Yeah, Cerberusky. Your last hope here. Asuna up the top side of the hill, or the building, rather. I did see Lotex and Achman get a knock on Empathy or Resume. They're going to be out of the equation. Achman and Lotex have underperformed here so far in this 4-game spread, but things getting a little bit quiet here for Asuna. The push coming through Prince. Asuna never saw it coming. Gets absolutely dropped. Body shots to go along with it. No, they were just making sure they were dead. Super are going to be content with holding the inside of the building. Hopefully we'll see tags be pulled up. That's 1 kill under the board for the guys over at Lag and Prince. We're looking to extend this lead. 1 more point under their belt. That's 46.5 in total. And if you're doing math at home, ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good for the rest of the lobby here in this first place spot.
Yeah, definitely got to agree. Lotex able to get a knock onto Citrus, and both of those players are players we expected to be competing for this number 1 position, and that just has not happened. But here's our number 2 team, YZ and Bomber, and you can see they're pushing up and could find themselves a scared Gilmania here if they push on in, but it looks like they're going to opt to move past.
Nope.
Maybe not. No,
There
they
goes
know.
Gilmania. Oh, Miyamo is Brian. Miyamo is dead now. Bomber going to be able to get the finish, the M4 crispy shots inside of the cubby or the container or the warehouse, wherever you're at. You cannot hide. This is not safe grounds when Wisey and Bomber are lurking. Holy heck, Gil, I didn't mean to dish you, homie, but I love you. It just was not the favorable position. It doesn't matter where you're at on this map. These guys will hunt you down and find you and kill you quickly. As we see, that's kill number 1. And right now, if you're trying to track, like, how are they going to cover the gap? Well, right now, only 1 kill is not going to cut it. 1 kill could potentially put you in that same spot that you were in when you began, but you're going to have to get at least a top 10 finish with some more kills to secure that one. I don't think the ground is going to be covered here in game number 4. It's going to have to progress a lot better. And shots almost able to connect. But who was that? Was that Flexen? What a freaking lineup from him across the map.
Yeah, definitely saw players get more and more awakened when it came to the long range shots throughout the day. But Lag gonna find himself another kill on board. You could see in the feed there, and now Wisey could be possibly looking for a snipe here. I think he sees Impulse. Yep, there we go. Gets the crack, gets the down. And they do have to worry about Hippo and Cynics up at the top of the hill, but it looks like they're more focused on trying to find Flexing. They should get a free one on the finish onto Impulse here. No, Hypno gonna finish that one,
Logic.
but Logic took down Lag.
Yeah, Logic. Hey, that's a team wipe. Logic and Logic did get to finish on Prince. Lag and Prince are out. Their points, I believe, they only managed to pick up 1
Two
kill.
kills.
Two kills. 2 kills is where they finish at. So no multipliers in this sense. They're not in the top 10 spot. Things are starting to shape out and ship a little better here for the boys over at Wisey and Bomber. But again, with them sitting on 1, they got to be a little more aggressive. And this might be the opportunity. Valu says, I'll give it to you for free. Bomber's going to get the knock. That was about as easy as a shot. As you can see, Insolence at the bottom side. He's recovering, but he is outside his zone. This one might be a GG's well played for Insolence and team. It does not look like the push is going to be sustained. The rotation going to be called out. Bomber gets another free one. And that is 3 on board for the Madmen over at Wisey and Bomber.
All right. Well,
hey,
this is what you wanted.
Listen, right?
Listen, this is what we said at the very beginning is if Lag and Prince have a bad game, preying on your opponent's downfall, right? There's a chance for for the number 2 and number 3 teams now. Maybe even a little bit deeper if someone really just went crazy. But I don't think that is the case for really anybody in the lobby right now. We've got Bomber on 3, but Wisey doesn't have anything. So right now we're looking for multipliers. Logic and Snitch definitely starting to bring things together. They could be looking for that top 10 finish. They've got 6 kills on board, so starting to get everything rolling there. Report and Expecki are sitting on 7 together right now, so definitely looking pretty decent. And Kyle and O'Daven are on a solid 5. So a couple teams could be looking to bump themselves up in the standings here.
Yeah, we'll have to see it now as I was taking a look at it. Lotex did get another knock and a finish in the background. Ackman and team sitting on 4 in total. Rabalo and Slothy sitting in a corner holding each other's angles. I love to see it. Battle Royales are very, how do we say it? Strategic positioning, just like multiplayer, right? You hold the angles, you just hold up. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Ackman going madman crazy, going to be able to take down Jan Reek. The finish not coming through. Ghost going to be able to get a knock and a finish on Lotex in the background. Let's go ahead and divvy down over there. I need to see that action, but Snitch and team going to get a knock. Logic getting the finish. No, it's Snitch right there, deleted. Absolutely getting deleted. The 4 multi-kill. Man, this lobby has been shaken up and flipped on its head. That's 8 on board for them. And that is actually enough if they get a first place finish, enough to cover the gap. Is it enough to get the win? No, they need another few kills because those 2 that came in earlier from the boys over at Lag and Prince certainly put a little bit more on top.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. Now you can see Wisey taking plenty of fire. That could be Kyle or O'Daven coming through with a kill here. YZ is going to make it behind the tree, get some cover. You can see he's starting to plate up. No kinetic here for Bomber or YZ, though. I think that's at least something to make note of. Stitch and Logic get fried out of nowhere. You can see the feed there. That's Expecki even getting more takes down Blank as well. That could be the end of Logic and Stitch's run. We were talking about them just a minute ago, having 6 kills on board, not making it top 10. No multiplier.
Yeah, no multiplier. I think they finished with 8, but it was enough to cover the gap to second place, which is an extra 2,000 in their pockets right now.
YZ!
Oh, my! The DLQ making its debut here in this first kill for YZ. That's going to be the 4th overall for the squad. So Bomber and YZ, the cards are in your hand. What position are you going to place, though? Are you going to get enough kills to cover the gap? There's not many players left, 21 excluding them, or 21 including them, so 23 in total, 12 teams available. Not many revive flights, so it's going to be a miracle. It's going to be a Hail Mary. I think if they wipe the entire lobby day, they might be able to recoup the deficits that the boys over at Lag and Prince put us in first 3 games.
It's definitely possible. It is definitely possible, and that's kind of a big feels bad moment, right? If you are Lag and Prince, because I mean they were putting on a show. Put on an absolute show. And this is what we were talking about, guys. The multiplier can be so punishing if a team does just pop off and if you fall short in a game. So the team that we had substantial lead in after game 1, 2, and 3. Hippo! There's no way he makes
he's going to die his own. That's going to be one less kill for YZ and team. They're not going to be able to cover the gap. That's it. 5 kills on board. I don't think it's
8 other players left.
I mean, we've seen crazy things happen. Lotek's lurking in the corner. We got Report and Expecki, who have been the lobby griefers at this point. They've taken down Prince and Lag, something that nobody was able to do in the first 3 games relatively early on. And I say relatively early on. Anything outside of top 10 is relative to this matter. Legend and team are up the top side of the hill, but the snowboards are going to be able to give them a little bit of a movement boost over towards where we see more players coming in. Report now looking for the smoke. There's a Specky and there's Ghost and Zerom in the area. I don't know if they quite know it just yet, but surely enough they will. Legend's going to get Nox Satama there for the trade. Here comes the push from Report. Crispy shots. Absolutely erased the wall bangs. Oh my god, the Craig. I didn't know you had it like that. Ghost. Absolutely one shot. He might die to zone. Nope, it's Expecki, the team wipe. And now there's 8 teams left with 13 players alive. Zone's crashing in. This one's getting extra spicy day.
Extra spicy, just the way we like it. 7 players left alive. And we are definitely in one of those positions, Verdict, where we are going to be counting down to the wire on who our first place finisher is going to be. Gotta say, Expecki and Report been having a hell of a game. 9 kills on Expecki, 4 on Report as well. So they're sitting on a 13 with a top 5 finish here.
Oh boy.
Bomber
going to be able to get the knock on Kyle, gets the finish instantly. Vita too fast and aim on the right side. You got plenty on the left. Merely's hanging back. Here comes Report and Expecki. They're also collapsing on the hill. Here comes the recon drone. It's going to be shot down, but locations are going to be given away. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to actively push on it. There's no way you're going to solo push out of that building, especially with Merely on the backside. Not sure if this collapse is going to happen. Oh, David walks out the door. My God. Rez going to be able to come through for YZ and Bomber. Bomber actually not going to be able to get picked up. He's going to get thirsted. That's going to be a finish. Merely going to be credited for the kill. Report at the top side of the hill. Things are getting extra fast now. We're speeding it up. There's nowhere to cover. There's nowhere to hide. Report obliterating people at the bottom. It's all on YZ to clutch up for the team, but even if he collects all the bodies and gets the first place finish, is it going to be enough, Day?
Oh boy, this is getting intense. It's a 1v1v1v1. 4 players alive, no teams left. You can see obviously YZ looking to just cause a little bit of havoc on the four-wheeler here, and you got to be a little bit cautious of your plate management here, of the zone that is actually very punishing. Now report pops the window, kill number 6. Excellently played on sound there. Wisey able to take down Merely, and that's Citrus and Merely out. Now Wisey, a 1v1 versus report. If you can get this kill.
Report!
Oh, no way!
Oh, he pops it too! The cover is going to be taken. It's a 1v1. Defenders out in effect. Everybody able to play it up. They don't want to push. Report wants to get a little aggressive. The slide peek doesn't bait any shots. Wisey's going to be able to fully plate back up. We got a little bit of a standoff the hillside as a collapse comes through. Both players using the defender to their advantage. Zone's going to crash in. Wisey, is he not going to be able to get the kill? This is it. The push out, the snowboards pop, the rotation, the jump, the shots, the flick. Wisey's dropped. Wisey drops him. Report is deleted. That is going to be game number 4. Win for Team Wisey. And Day, I am in absolute shambles right now. Wisey and Bomber pick up 9 and a first place finish. I think it's enough to recoup the deficits. I think that's it. I think they might have stole first place.
It is at least right now looking absolutely possible. And what a game coming through. We're, of course, going to get the numbers crunched for you guys as soon as possible. And when I say we, I mean, of course, not me and Verdict, because we can't count. No. We can't. Listen, we're here to talk, not to count. Yeah, I was told there would be no math involved.
Well, from a competitive standpoint, like, I love the storylines that come along with BR, especially in 4-game spreads. And what had to happen for this team in Wisey and Bomber to close that gap was a few things. They needed to fry for one, which they did towards the end, and they needed Lag and Prince to drop early. And what happened? Lag and Prince dropped
on 2 in like
20th place, gentlemen. And they picked up a first place, which is going to give them that 2 times multiplier, right? If we're looking at the grand scheme of things, 3 out of 4 games, Lag and Prince should have had this one in a bag. Nice, tuckly, tight. I mean, there should have been no question about it. But the if, ands, and buts, they just managed to float into our perspective, and we were able to create something that was just absolutely crazy bonkers towards the end. I'm literally waiting to see what these points are going to be looking like, because, ladies and gentlemen, we already tried to crown Prince and Lag, but Dave, Wisey and Bomber come up out of nowhere in that end game. I thought for sure Report was about to beat him. He had the lineup and everything. I had already called. I was like, bro, he's about to beat Wisey.
That snowboard play would have been just, I mean, that would have been clipped for the rest of the existence of COD Mobile BR, right? No matter how long that is, that would always be a play that would make a highlight reel. Whether it makes a difference in the standings or not, it was just, with Zone crashing, he almost made the play, but Wisey, really solid performance across the board with teammate Bomber here today. And now it's just a matter of punching in the numbers, guys. Did they close the gap? Keep in mind, it was a 14-point lead, and we only got 2 points that round from Lag and Prince. The 1 kill apiece and the 19th place finish or something like that is not going to give them any sort of multiplier.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think before we even jump into those final standings, I think we need to do a little bit of due diligence and allow these people to know, what are we playing for again? Why is this so dramatic? This is a $20,000 prize pool. Let's take a look at it. First place gets a large chunk of that for $6,000. Second place gets $4,000. Third, $3,000. $2,000 for fourth place. So that you're not going home empty-handed at fourth. Fifth and sixth, $1,500. Seventh and eighth, $1,000. That's $500 apiece for seventh and eighth finishes. And those numbers were relatively low rolling into game number 4. Certainly doable for teams that picked up vast amount of kills in that last game. Report and especially, I think they finished up with 15 kills, Dave. 15 kills. They were trying to make a miraculous Hail Mary to close the gap. I'm sure that with a 1.75 multiplier, should put them in at least a top 6 contention if I'm doing maths correctly. But then again, they don't pay me to to do masks. As a matter of fact, they usually don't pay me at all. But look, I enjoy the work. I'm obviously captain. We're having fun with this one, and we surely had fun in that last game. Blackout was a just beast of a finishing. Report with a snowboard flick. I mean, bro, I would have probably dropped my iPad if I was Wisey. I would have dropped my pad. I would have been so shaky. But they, that's why they didn't ask me to play. They asked me to cast this view, and
right.
That's why we get so excited, right? Yeah.
Oh man, what a series! It was starting to look like we weren't going to have any competition, man, and then boy. Here we are. We're standing here exactly what we wanted, waiting to see if Wisey and Bomber were able to upset the story that was being told by Lag and Prince. I don't think we had anybody else that really put themselves in a position to contest that number one spot. Nobody had the kills to really get up there. But, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter if you're, there's good money across the board for just being in top 8, right?
I think we got first and second place solidified.
Yes.
But before we continue the banner, we got the top standings. The last teams alive here in this top 8. Who got first place, ladies and gentlemen? It's Wisey and Bomber. They're going to be your COD Mobile Rivalry Series Holiday Hot Drop champions. They get the 6,000. They got the 49.75. They got the kills when it mattered the most, and they clutched up game number 4, which put them over the top. If they had finished second, ladies and gentlemen, I don't do maths again, like I repeatedly said. I don't think we would have seen them in that first place spot, but they did it. They clutched it. Lag and Prince, they're going to go home in second. Hell of a 3-game spread. That fourth one was a dud. Logic and No Stitch happily finishing in that third place spot with 37. And Report in Tokyo coming through with a 4th place finish date. They weren't even on the leaderboard rolling into game number 4. 34.75 points in 4th place.
Yeah, they put up some numbers, and I believe it was 18 points that Wisey and Bomber were able to sneak around in game 4. So while Lag and Prince, they may have been ahead of the pack for game 1, 2, and 3, Wisey and Bomber had solid enough performances during game 1, 2, and 3 to come through with an absolute banger game 4, and just narrowly by 2 points sneak away that first place victory, that $6,000 cash prize. Lag and Prince, you guys aren't going home empty-handed for that second place position, though, guys. $4,000, absolutely huge, and looks like we've got the full breakdown for you guys here.
Yeah, Wisey and Bomber coming through. $6,000, $3,000 a piece, or however you guys want to split it. Lag and Prince going home with that 4,000. We're talking about it like they're going home empty-handed, but they are certainly not. It's big prize pool of this 20,000 being handed the second, as well as third for Logic and No Snitch. Report in Tokyo, they competed in that game 4, picking up 26.25 points. Had they had won that game, it might have been a top 3 for them. So it's a difference of winning that gunfight, being $1,000 richer. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Fortunately for Wisey Bomber, that it did. Legend and Richard Raw going to come through as well as Aim and Vita for that 5th and 6th place spot. Kurdo and Blurdy, game 1 winners, coming through at 1,000, as well as Lotex and Achman. Guys are still beasts. We didn't see it too much in the leaderboard, but you came through when it mattered the most, ladies and gentlemen. And Day, I gotta say, man, watching all of them sweat, I'm starting to get a little heated up over here. This holiday hot drop has been a steamy one. And what better way to close out 2022, my guy?
Yeah, and honestly, big shout out to the CODM Rivalry Series coming through with the holiday hot drop here. We started December off with Stage 5, the World Championships for multiplayer COD Mobile. It's only right to finish out the year with some intense Battle Royale action as well. And as always, Verdict, it was an absolute pleasure to be here with you for it, even if I maybe had some technical difficulties there at the beginning. I appreciate you absolutely hard carrying.
Bro, look, we're going to forget about that particular portion of it. We're going to enjoy the times over the best, and that in-game was absolutely well worth it. We're going to close 2022 out with a banger. We're going to bring 2023 in with some great memories and everything. I hope everybody had a happy holiday as well as a happy new year. We look forward to seeing you until next time. But until then, you know, we'll just have to be waiting. When we get any kind of announcements rolling through, be sure to follow COD Mobile Esports YouTube channel for more of these exciting events. Until then, we'll catch you later.